up with Catholic Family Charity. So we'll talk to Father Dan Thies and find out how you can actually help out and make sure that a child has a gift this upcoming Christmas. That's all in the first hour. In the second hour, Ryan Kroll will join us with St. Louis Magazine, and he is covering a couple of really interesting stories. Who knew that grease was a hot commodity? And I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about used grease from restaurants. It's been a part of like this theft. And now there is a conspiracy. It's so weird, but Ryan will give us the basics of this story. Also, there was a man that was arrested for 3,000 pounds of fireworks. I think, did he have them in his house or his apartment? I mean, this is also so frightening. I actually had a former coworker at Channel 5, and this was many, many years ago, who was making his own fireworks in his basement. And
illegally?
Well, I mean, can you make them legally? I don't know. But the house blew up and he lost his life.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. This is a terrible story.
I mean, fireworks are just, you got to know what you're doing. So we got a couple of those stories that we'll talk about. We'll also check in with Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor, how to make sure that you're safe this 4th of July. And then in the 5 o'clock, there were several Supreme Court decisions. And so we're bringing in our friend, constitutional law professor of presidential powers. That's what we're going to talk about today with Greg Willard. We'll do a little sports with KTR sports director Brendan Weesey, and we'll have a few entertainment stories. And then we'll wrap this show up with some randoms. So a couple of things. Busy weekend for me. First up, on Friday night, I took my 7-year-old neighbor, Lou, to the Muni to see Shrek. And I will say it was so delightful, so much fun. The Muni just does, as you know, everything bigger and better. And to watch a musical like this through the eyes of a 7-year-old, and what was also really cute, she just did a theater camp at Coca a week ago. And what musical did they do? Shrek. And so she would say, we did that song. We did that song too. We did that song. Look at that costume. That was my costume, but I think hers is better. So anyway, that was crazy cool. And then we had my niece, Claire's high school graduation party. You know, graduation parties are just nuts. And I think she's had probably 4 a weekend since graduation happened last month. So, you know, it was family and friends. And when I was just out in Seattle to see my nephew, who's doing an internship at Boeing, he's like, yeah, I really wish I could come in for it, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out. And then I've been taking my niece to lunch each week before she leaves for college. And last week she said, yeah, I'm excited, but Jude's not going to be here.
Well, I sure wish my brother could come.
Because he missed graduation because he was doing his internship.
So what did you do?
Well, last Wednesday night, I decided I will be that aunt. So I called Jude and I said, what do you think? Let's just book a flight. We'll get you in here and we'll surprise everybody. So we came up with this, I thought, perfect plan. And a buddy was picking him up. He was going to arrive at my house probably at like a little after midnight because he wasn't flying in until midnight. And then we were going to get up super early, like 6 a.m. on Saturday. And they usually do a coffee run, and we knew what their orders were going to be. And we were going to pick that up and knock on the door, and everybody would be so happy, almost like the Folgers.
It's just like the Folgers.
Yeah, minus us making our own coffee.
Including the coffee. I mean, he's not coming from Africa. He's coming from Seattle.
Which, I mean, it's a pretty long trip, 4,863 miles, if I recall, to get there and back.
What's your odometer say?
Yeah, that's exactly. Anyway, for all of you parents and grandparents out there, that 360 app is now the bane of my existence.
What's the 360 app?
It tracks the children.
Oh.
So I am at the Muni.
So
and
his mom, probably just out of curiosity, making sure he's not in some sort of weird drug clubs in Seattle, pulls up the 360 app and sees that he's in the middle of Montana.
Sees that he's at the Seattle airport.
Oh, oh maybe he was meeting a friend for drinks.
So my sister and I are extremely close. I would say my best friend. And I'm at the Muni now with Lou, and my phone is blowing up. It's right before the Muni starts. And one call, okay, she forgot where I was. No big deal. Well, then she calls again.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I'm like, I was also responsible for a couple things at the party the next day. And I'm like, okay, she's panicking. I just need to remind her I'm at the Muni. We're okay. Immediately. Is Jude at the airport in Seattle? Where is Jude? What do you know about Jude right now? Because it looks like he's at the airport. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, why would I know where he is?
Yeah.
Just tell me.
He's not my son.
No, I didn't birth him. Just tell me if he's coming home for the party. Just so we can. And finally, I'm like, oh, this is not going to go anywhere. Fine. But can we not tell anybody else? Like, and she goes, well, Scott's right here with me, his dad. I'm like, okay.
Well, Scott's on speakerphone.
Yeah.
He heard the whole thing.
And then I'm like, well, what about Claire? Can we keep it at least?
Well, Claire's in the other room.
Well,
She's got the app too.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the app. And so they try to tell me that, okay, Claire won't know. We'll keep it. Well, then I found out when we got to the party. They had even said, will you check on your brother and see where he is before they even called me? Anyway, the entire thing was
she
spoiled.
knew first.
Yeah.
They should reimburse you for the plane ticket. Frankly.
And here's what's funny. Like, I thought about it right as we were walking into the Muni, and I knew that Jude was going to be at the airport, and I texted him and I said, turn off 360. And he said, I can't. If I turn it off, it immediately pings her, and that will send up all kinds of other signals.
He's at the drug club again.
So it was still great, and I didn't get to witness him surprising my mom, but my mom came out to kind of help with flowers, and I think she almost had a heart attack when she saw him. And then I did get to see my dad, and I think it took him probably 30 seconds to even realize that it was his grandson, because he's like, that guy looks like Jude. I'm like, Dad, it is. That is
boy.
Jude. So
I think I'd recognize my own grandson.
It was fun. And then yesterday we sweated it out at Pride and saw In Vogue perform,
cool.
which was
Did you
so
free
fun.
your mind?
And the rest followed.
What a man. What a mighty, mighty good man.
It was fun. It was hot. And we did kind of buck up and pay for a VIP tent that had some air conditioning to duck in and out of. But a pretty busy weekend as far as my life. How was yours?
Baseball was canceled on Saturday morning. Love that. Mm-hmm. And we just went swimming a couple times and had some good food and all that. I have a list of things you shouldn't make on the grill.
I do too. I just saw this today, and it's basically everything we grill.
We just made burgers, and I see this list, and it says never grill these things. One is burgers. And I'm like, well, how are you supposed to make them?
Okay, and what's the other thing? A filet.
You're not supposed to put a filet on a barbecue grill.
Right.
Give me a break.
Yeah.
I mean, according to Alton Brown, friend of the show, because he's been on the show at least once, so now he's a friend. I got his recipe for the cast iron skillet. Sear it on both sides and then stuff it in the oven.
And it's supposed to kind of hold the juices in a little bit better.
Sure. But it's summertime. If I've got a filet, I'm making it outside.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, unless it's raining, or that one time when I ran out of gas. Did I ever tell you about that time? Always have a spare can if you can.
You ran out of gas for the grill?
For the grill.
Okay.
Ooh. Honey, turn the oven on. I'm coming in.
Here we go. Burgers, I guess the argument is that the fat drips down. The outside doesn't get as caramelized, and you lose all the flavor. So
Do they recommend how to make burgers then?
They say a flat piece of cast iron you place on top of the grill is supposed to help.
They want you to griddle the burgers on cast iron.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Filet, they say it doesn't have enough fat for the grill. And since they're usually pretty thick, it's hard to cook them the way that you want them if you're using any kind of flame. Well, Marsha just grilled fillets on Thursday, and it was perfect.
It was great, right?
So I don't know who's coming up to this. Do you ever throw your Dogtown pizzas on the grill?
I still haven't. I promised the listeners I would do it 5 months ago. I still haven't done it. Surprise, surprise. Fish is on this list. Fish is tough. You got to get a special pan or that grate. Have you seen that grate where you kind of lock the fish in
and do that?
And do it on the grill? Pork chops is tough because you got to cook. You got to cook pork to a certain temperature, but you don't want to dry it out. That's a fine line right there. Shish kebabs. The only problem I had, they say the vegetables cook faster than the meat. The only problem I've had with the shish kebabs, we use wooden skewers. The skewers sometimes light on fire. And,
Ouch.
Now you've got a little char.
Yeah.
Ash.
Now, I
with
have
your
done
meat.
that with, my favorite little snack, which maybe I'll go get some this week down at Kenrick's, is the Ozark
the
Griller.
Ozark Grillers.
I think I'm going to go get some. It's like this tender piece of red meat, but then you've got cheese in it, and they've got their secret seasoning, and then it's bacon wrapped, and you throw them on the grill. But those will kind of light up with all the bacon grease and everything else. But they are just a bite of.
Now, you told me about them.
Yeah.
And I went out to Menino's in Cottleville, and guess what they have there? They have Cottleville Grillers. So I don't know if there's a pending lawsuit.
Yeah.
By the Kenrick people.
Maybe.
But every time I threw them on, like you said, the bacon wrap filet, I take the bacon off because, I don't want my filet to taste like bacon.
You can also buy it without bacon.
And normally I do,
Okay.
if given the opportunity. But you throw those grillers on, and the bacon fat lights the whole grill on fire. Every time I've cooked these griller things, they have come out charred as you know what. But they've always still tasted pretty good. So it's just tough trying to cook bacon over an open flame because you better have one of those fire extinguishers.
Oh, to go. Somebody said when grilling hamburgers, poke a hole in the center of the patty, like a donut.
Like a donut?
Yeah, that's what this says.
What does that do?
And you're supposed to put an ice cube in the middle.
And then somebody else says you have to soak the skewers in water for at least 15 minutes.
So they don't light on fire.
And then a
Tip
couple
of the
people talking about getting busted by Life 360. Someone says, I know someone that got busted by their parents eloping at the county courthouse because of Life 360.
All right, well, let's go back to that because I don't use this app. There's an app called Find My Friends. I don't use that. I have friends that do that. There was a story the other day in our friend group where something got ruined because of the app. But, if I was a 20-year-old in Seattle, I wouldn't want my parents to be spying on me the whole time.
Well, somebody asked, what is the age that
That you let them go.
I think after they graduate college. But
After
I'm
they
not a
graduate
mom,
college.
so I am just the aunt. And
I'm seeing where my kid is right now.
thank you, Carl.
And she just graduated
Graduated
college.
college 2 weeks ago.
And is it
weeks
Life
ago.
360 that you have?
No,
or a
it's just the
different one?
Apple tracker.
To find my
And
friends
how often
and
are
family.
you checking it? Just when you're concerned, or is it really
See, I'm doing the math to see if my wife is listening right now. I check randomly. My wife checks twice a day.
Twice a day?
Yes.
Just for peace of mind?
Well-
My daughter is at work right now.
Okay.
She's at work right now. So I know that.
Well, that would make sense.
But since my kid does not drive in Chicago, my wife wants to make sure that she's getting home all right.
Yes, and I do get that. I understand that you want to make sure that your child is safe. But my mom has my sister on it. But now my sister also has my mom and dad on it. So then sometimes I think it flips back to make sure that your adult parent is safe when you get to a certain age. Now, I will say it also has come back to bite them because they had gone to New Madrid for probably a funeral at this age. And I asked my sister where my parents were. This was probably a year ago. And I said, are they home yet? She was like, let me look at the app. Oh, nope. They are in Perryville at the Dairy Queen.
Oh.
And so you get to also say, did you have
Pick me
another
up a dilly bar.
yeah,
Wait,
ice
it'll
cream?
zero in on the Dairy Queen?
Josh, it zeroes in on the street. And here's the other thing. When the kids first got their driver's license, you can see how fast they're driving.
Oh, yeah.
It'll-
I don't care for this.
Well,
I don't care for this.
Somebody said we started vacation groups on Life 360 years ago for our family caravan. So my adult children are still on there. They can leave if they want to. Somebody said my son dumped me off Life 360 by why wouldn't he want me to check in on him now that I'm older? Check in on me. There you go. My mom consistently says, I'd like for you to be on it. And I say, you know where we are. We are usually in our neighborhood. Lots of times at Hamilton's or 1111 or the wine bar. So it's not
running
that
theme
much
there
of a stretch.
being wine.
Well, maybe.
Is there a way to follow someone without them following you?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you can have tabs on your parents without them being able to look up where you are. I just have not seen the benefits of this thing aside from Carl's wife's peace of mind and probably your sister's peace of mind.
I think there are several couples that use it as well.
I have friends.
Spy.
Yeah, I have friends that use it. They know each other's on it. They know they're, whatever. You got to give trust over. And she'll wake up at like 2 a.m. and check the app, and he'll be at the casino, and she'll be like, oh, at least I know he's safe. And then she'll go back to bed.
That is kind of it's peace of mind. Somebody said my children are 35 and 39. They allow us to track them, but the real truth is I think they want to check on us. I would say you're probably right. Somebody else said my 28-year-old daughter went to Chicago this past weekend with 3 other friends. All 4 girls turned off their location because they did not want another girl to know they were in Chicago without her.
They didn't take Sheila, so Sheila's off the...
Here's one of the other problems. You give someone your location or you give someone the opportunity to track you and whatever. What happens if you're not friends with them anymore?
Well,
or what happens if you do something and you don't want them to know?
Too late.
Too late. Hey, best just to not be on it.
Somebody said we now have my elderly parents on Life 360 Circle, and it's helpful and reassuring. Our friend Susan says this makes me wonder now if any of our kids have us on 360 since we drive back and forth to Perryville pretty often.
Do you have to give someone permission?
Yes.
They can't
like
just
mom just can't track
you.
me. I have to allow it.
Yes.
I don't know how any of the rest of it works. I just am kind of on the outskirts of this, and now it has come back to haunt me.
All right. Has anyone gotten busted? I want to hear these stories.
Yeah.
Gotten
my
busted.
wife and I Apple find each other all the time because we're still in love and we care.
Does anyone find it useful or does anyone find it invasive? Any 22-year-old recent graduates living in Chicago listening right now that want to say, I wish my parents weren't checking up on me?
They're at work right now.
What, her parents are?
Yeah. Well, this is interesting. I don't know if you saw this story or not, but one tech billionaire says that in the future, no one will have privacy, and that's a good thing. He says future generations should assume there's no such thing as off the record, and that he believes the best privacy strategy is simply living with integrity. So this is the founder of a tech company named Peter Diamond, and now he's kind of making waves.
Peter Diamond.
He says that humans behave better when they're being watched, and
this is the number one. He's a tech guy, so I'm not going to trust a word he says about privacy because they're not very good or forthcoming when it comes to how much they're tracking us. But this is the old excuse of, I don't want a camera on the street. Well, if you're not committing a crime, why do you care? And some people, I don't really have a problem with it, but I definitely don't want anyone eavesdropping on me.
Right.
I don't want anybody reading my text messages out loud over the air.
It's the slippery slope, isn't it? I mean, if you could trust everybody wasn't going to do anything with it, who cares? But we finally added our Ring cameras, and it's kind of fun on the opposite side, especially when you can see somebody like a friend. We do have plenty of friends who come over and use the pool even when we're not there. But
can you push a button and go, I see you?
Yes. And watching their reaction is hilarious. And you do it the first time and they kind of look around like they don't know what's happening. And I will be honest, Marcia did it to me once when she was traveling. And I was just sitting on the back patio and I heard her voice and I thought I was losing my mind. And then all of a sudden I just kind of hear her laughing and then I realized that she's talking through the camera.
Okay. Did you find it invasive, though? Even though it's your wife?
No, I mean...
That you'd be sitting out there and she, watching...
No, but I can't imagine how many people have gotten caught doing something they shouldn't be doing?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
I would say best keep everything secret. And, if you want to share your location, feel free, but
Even
don't.
I forgot that we had the camera.
Yeah.
So somebody said, I told my girlfriend I don't want anyone to have my location. She said, I don't want my location. So there's a story a couple weeks ago on Channel 5 where a dad got alerted that his daughter was in a car accident on Life 360, and he was able to get there before the first responders and saved her life. I did see that. Somebody else says, if you have a good relationship with your loved ones, there's no downside to Life 360.
No downside.
Maybe just an occasional. Do you really need to be at 11:11 that often?
Yeah, an occasional ruining Heidi's big gift to her nephew.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Surprise of the century.
Oh,
Up in smoke.
up in smoke. That is so true. I mentioned that Shrek is at the Muni, and somebody else said that they saw it Saturday night. Let me find exactly what they said.
The I'm a Believer,
Yes.
Smash Mouth. There's a bunch of songs that were in the movie, but did they make a bunch of new songs? Originals?
Yeah.
You can watch the play itself on, I think it's on Apple TV.
Yeah, maybe.
Is Donkey a person? Is he a puppet? Is he a hybrid?
The only, there's several puppets. The dragon is amazing. And
Oh, yeah, she's-
so that was really cool. The gingerbread.
Oh, not my buttons.
Pretty funny.
Is he big or is he little?
He's on a tray.
Oh, yeah.
On a baking sheet, I should say. That's fun. They have some rats that come out, but Donkey and they're all in costumes. But Donkey was fantastic. Somebody said they were at the Muni on Saturday. What a show. The man in front of me kept shushing an excited little girl across the aisle. She wasn't that loud. Oh, I mean, if you're going to the kids show at the Muni, you got to know that you're going to hear some tears, you're going to hear some laughter, you're going to hear somebody saying, what is that? Several times.
You're outside.
Yeah.
Are you shushing the birds?
People get a little weird about it.
The director of the show at the Muni was the original Pinocchio in Shrek on Broadway.
And he has done so many great things. Wasn't he one of the original Avenue Q?
Yeah,
Too.
John Tartaglia.
Yeah, he is super cool. So the Muni still has 4 or 5 nights, but then July 6th, your enchanting evening awaits. One of Broadway's greatest musicals, Rodgers and Hammerstein's sweeping American classic, returns to its first Muni production since 2013. South Pacific. I mean, you've got the lush island during World War II. Navy nurse Nellie Forbush falls for the charismatic French planter Émile Dubois, only to question her own assumptions when she meets his children.
I don't know.
South Pacific.
South Pacific.
Taylor Lauderman's going to be in it.
Yes, who is, of course, a St. Louis, and now she's done so many great things.
Who's that?
She was in Mean Girls.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and super cool. She grew up out past Cuba. What's right around that area? But now she calls St. Louis home. But she's done
Who's the one I'm thinking of that was in the rock band? And
Taylor Momsen.
Taylor Momsen.
Yeah,
See
not
where
the
I-
same.
See where I
Yeah.
get confused.
Right. But anyway, South Pacific opens July 6th. Every performance is 8:15. It is going to be fantastic. It runs through July 12th. Tickets are available at the Muni box office or muni.org. You do not want to miss this show, Under the Stars. The stars on stage and above it.
Right before we go to Carl and his in-show traffic for the very first time, someone on the text line 84126 says you're going to see a lot of people with second phones because of Life 360.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you're still carrying both of them, you're still being tracked, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That'll be interesting.
Yes, it will. Well, as you mentioned, we've got Captain Carl, the intern, doing traffic today. What's it looking like?
Well, we've got an accident in, let's see, I guess that's Brentwood, Maplewood. That has just been cleared. It's in Richmond Heights, technically. 6440 before Big Bend. Slow traffic back to McKnight. It has just been cleared, but you still have an 18-minute delay. Stop and go traffic in Twin Oaks on 141 southbound between Big Bend and Elam Avenue. It's slow traffic. Bridgeton on 70 westbound between 270 and the 5th Street exit. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with boxed lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. I'm Captain Carl, the intern, on the Big 550 KTRS.
Summer is a time to relax with friends and family. Vacations, barbecues, pool days, even movie nights. But for thousands of our neighbors in the St. Louis area, their struggles don't take a vacation. That's why all of us here at KTRS are partnering with Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis for a Christmas in July promotion.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Presented by Royal Banks of Missouri. We'll be co-hosting a family movie night at Westport Plaza on July 10th for a free viewing of Disney's Cars. Come out and enjoy the movie on the massive screen at Westport Plaza and bring an unwrapped toy or non-perishable item for Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis.
Whew, only 10 million more lists to go.
This summer, while you're making memories, help someone else find hope. Come out to the Westport Plaza movie night on July 10th or visit ccstl.org and make a donation today. It's the Royal Banks of Missouri Christmas in July promotion on the Big 550 KTRS.
Presented by AAA Home Services, T.R. Hughes Homes, Outdoor Living, and Neighbors Credit Union.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's face it, most people are not thinking about planning a funeral, but planning ahead can bring you significant savings by locking in today's prices. Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens in Fairview Heights is part of Dignity Memorial. They've been an essential part of the community for generations and believe a funeral service or cremation memorial should be as unique as the person it honors. Receive low interest options on prepaid cremation property and burial plans and up to 10% off cemetery property and funeral plans. Experience the dignity difference. Call Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens at 618-233-7200 to schedule a pre-planning appointment. Online at dignitymemorial.com.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemariestudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemariestudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
I'm Mark Cantor. Here's why you can count on Cantor Injury Law.
My name is Michelle. I'm a litigation paralegal at Cantor Injury Law, and you can count on Cantor because we are smart, honest, and hardworking.
I'm Kevin Glenn, and a partner here at Cantor Injury Law. You can count on Cantor because we make your cause our cause.
No fee if no recovery. Please visit cantorinjurylaw.com or call us at 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Summer is officially here.
Time for outdoor activities, sporting events, seasonal festivals, everything but cooking. Treat Dad to a great breakfast. The best in St. Louis, according to the Post-Dispatch. Lunch while you're out and about, or a terrific home-style dinner. Nobody is disappointed with Gingham's. And don't forget our fabulous desserts. We're open 24 hours a day, so no matter when hunger strikes, Gingham's is open and ready to serve you.
Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
SSM Healthcare Group, DBA SLU Care Physician Group, seeks physicians internal medicine in St. Louis, Missouri to provide internal medicine service including diagnosing and treating acute medical needs of patients and interpreting patient data to determine appropriate and effective diagnostic and therapeutic procedures as necessary. May also engage in clinical education. Please send resume to James Willis, Director of Business Operations, Internal Medicine, SLU Care Physician Group at james.willis@ssmhealth.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Forest Park, in my opinion, is our city's best treasure. Now there's a new book about it. Forest Park, St. Louis's gathering place since 1876. Amanda E. Doyle is one of the authors, and she's here to share a few stories. Thank you so much for making time for us. It's a beautiful book. I mean, I know that the facts are even cooler, but I love a good...
I feel like if you write a coffee table book, you have to accept that whatever you write, if you did it right, it's secondary to how it looks. Because there are especially Forest Park, right? It's 150 years old. Yeah. There are so many photos, historical photos, and people's family snapshots, and just all that stuff. So I'm totally fine with people falling for the looks first. Yeah. And if they want to read some stuff, cool, that's there too.
How do you decide what's going to go on the cover? Because, like you just said, there are so many great structures in the park itself.
Right. And do you do like a historical photo? Do you do a contemporary? Well, if people get a chance to see the book, we went with a current shot of the bandstand. Yes. But it is really hard because, Forest Park means different things to different people. So for some people, it's Art Hill. For some people, it's, the boathouse. For other people, it's some obscure little tucked away spot. It's, eventually it gets down to an art director and they tell you what's going to be the cover.
Yeah, and you just say yes.
You say thank you.
So you started digging into Forest Park how long ago? And tell me this, what surprised you the most in your research?
Oh, man. So I was really lucky to have a co-author on this project, an author named Cameron Collins, who's also written a bunch of St. Louis history books, and he had a blog for a long time that was St. Louis history. We probably spent about 2 years doing the research, and there were so many surprising things. I mean, I've lived here for almost 30 years now and still was shocked at how many things I didn't know. But people may know the park is huge. It's 1,371 acres. Bigger than Central Park.
Yeah.
We have
every
to
time
say that.
you say that, people are like, no, it's not. Yeah, it is.
It is, but it was supposed to be, according to the original vision, they wanted it to be twice as big.
Really?
So one of the original planners, Hiram Leffingwell, proposed a 3,000-acre park. So just thinking about that is like mind-blowing because it's already so big. So.
And when we think of Central Park, it's that long rectangle right in the middle of Manhattan. Is Forest Park a rectangle?
It is a rectangle, but it's not as skinny as Central Park is. Central Park is awesome. Mm-hmm. No shade to Central Park, even though it is smaller. It's like illegal that I have to keep saying that.
Yeah, much smaller,
Much smaller. But, it's a different vibe. And part of it is because we really have, that's the jewel of the city. We have concentrated our cultural institutions there. Mm-hmm. So that is where we have the Art Museum, the History Museum, the Science Center, the Muni, that you were
talking
about.
Rink.
Yes, all of that stuff.
Zoo.
So you can be in one or the other within, 10 minutes walking somewhere.
Amanda, was that always the vision? Did we know we were going to have these institutions there, or did it just kind of okay?
Not always. It was meant to be. It was meant to be a huge sort of civic living room, really a place. But when Forest Park started, this was when all the big cities of the East Coast were really, having their heyday. So you had Boston and Philly, and St. Louis was a growing city. And it was huge, but we were always kind of this little frontier outpost and had a chip on our shoulder, maybe like we still do, about proving that we were a worthy thing. And so this was part of the idea to give our city something just like what the East Coast cities had, this beautiful, verdant kind of escape out of the noise and the dirt and everything else. And there were things planned for it, but I don't think anybody would have foreseen the concentration of things that are there.
Yeah.
All right. I just went out and swung the sticks around last Wednesday morning.
Does that mean you played golf?
I played golf
okay, just making
in Forest Park. There are 27 holes just on the one side, and then there's another 9 holes in the back. I hate to say this to all the golfers out there, but is there too much golf in Forest Park?
No. Well, as someone who has golfed once, that wasn't mini golf, I would say yes, there's way too much golf, but I think everyone would disagree with me. So you want to talk about a rabbit hole and things that surprise you. The history of golf in the park is fascinating, and especially the history of equal access to the golf facilities, because we have had golfers in Forest Park since there has been land there. But when the first 9 holes that opened they're called the Lindell 9 or the Flat 9, some people call them. And the only way that black people in St. Louis could get access to it was by being a caddy for somebody else. So black players weren't allowed to play, and they kept petitioning the Parks Commissioner to ask for it. And they finally, in the early 1900s, they got the great concession that they could play the Flat 9 Monday mornings until noon. That was it. And so there was this whole group of black golfers who took it very seriously to cultivate the sport among the group of people. They had like their own social clubs and their own tournaments. And there's a huge, just people did it for themselves because they had to. And there are a couple books about the history of black golf in St. Louis. It's really, really cool. But it's just like such a, everything that happens in the city has some kind of microcosm in the park. So if you look at public access to accommodations, that shows up in the park. If you look at times when the city ran out of money and couldn't keep things up, you see that in the park. It's really the history of the city alongside the history of the park.
It is so fascinating. We're talking to Amanda E. Doyle, author of Forest Park, St. Louis's gathering place since 1876. What was the first statue or structure in the park?
The first statue actually is the statue that you see still at the corner of Lindell and Kings Highway.
Okay.
Although the entrance has been reconfigured a few times, and it's Edward Bates, who was a politico.
I don't think I've ever
Missouri.
entered there.
And that was the main entrance
Right
when the
by
park opened.
the
kind of catty corn from the Chase.
From the Chase.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a weird entrance.
It is weird.
And there's
and it's
several different kind of ways you can get into it.
Aren't all the ponds right there?
There are ponds right there too. Yes, and it looked weird, but a different kind of weird before they redone the streets.
That was
a few
the first
times.
entrance.
That was the main entrance and the first statue in the park, and it was actually unveiled the same day that they opened the park in 1876.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was the World's Fair always going to be at the park, or did they fight where that was going to be?
No. So where Forest Park wasn't always where the big park in St. Louis was going to be. There were several locations proposed, and the Missouri State Legislature actually had to sign off on the location. And when they did that, they had to appease everyone in the city, so they put the big one right there in the middle, but they also, the same law that they passed to make that happen, created O'Fallon Park on the north side and Carondelet Park on the south side. So that all happened because of that. And then when the fair was going to be here and people knew it was coming, there was a debate about location. Forest Park was considered way too far out away from the city. It was this random chunk of woods.
Well, let's talk about that. They said, Forest Park is way out there. But what about all the neighborhoods that surround it? The big houses off Skinker, the houses off Lindell. I don't know how old those are.
Well, so when the park was being created, it was definitely considered controversial, that location, because they said no common person will ever be able to get here because you would have to have your own private transportation to get there.
Is WashU there at this point?
No, WashU, no. The 1904 Olympics that happened along with the fair used some of the brand new buildings that were going to be for WashU, but they were kind of used for the fair. But all those people who owned land and eventually built houses, and those are their names, the Skinkers, the Forsyths, the DeMunns,
of course,
those kind of families. They wanted the park to be where it was because it was a real estate deal for them. It's like, you build this really nice amenity next to my property, and in 50 years, my property will be worth more. So, so the fair was not guaranteed to be there. Neither was the park.
Okay, the other thing that I think people forget, River to Pear, kind of ran through it or had to be diverted. What was the story there?
So the river was always in the land that became Forest Park. It was kind of a cute little stream, bucolic little stream. That obviously did not last. The more that development happened and people just put whatever they wanted to in the river, it became a problem. And so prior to the fair, they undergrounded a section of it. There are some amazing photos if you look at the History Museum Archive website of them constructing these wooden channels to divert the water underground because it was stinky and unsightly, and that was not what we were wanting to project to the world.
Is that where it is today? Is there a sewer?
There's actually an entrance. I got to see it as the highlight of my life in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I got to see the grate where the MSD people go down into the sewer when they need to. I wouldn't be able to pick it out today. It's like a grate and some grass, but it's up on the north side of the park, kind of there's a fish hatchery up there. Those ponds are up there, and there's an entrance to River to Pear there.
So in the book, are there stories of the people who brought us Forest Park? Is it about, what will we learn in the book?
So it is a lot of things because 150 years is impossible to cover comprehensively unless I wanted to do this the rest of my life, but I would like this book to be out. So we kind of had to cut it somewhere. But it's stories of the people, stories of how a lot of the institutions and traditions came to be, stories of just the ways that St. Louis has used the park and thought of the park over the years. And so we've got a little of everything. We have something from every single institution in the park. We've got just people's, very personal, this is kind of something we heard in our family growing up. A little bit of everything. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it is, as I said, beautiful as well, and you can actually pick it up wherever books are sold. Forest Park, St. Louis's gathering place since 1876, and I know that there are several book signings and author talks planned starting July 18th, running all the way through July 26th. Is there a place that people can see where you're going to be during those times?
Yeah, for sure. Best place is to follow us on Instagram. It's at Forest Park 150, Forest Park 150, and I'm putting kind of a rolling schedule up there, so I've got the next like 3 or 4 going on. But we're also using that to share some historical photos that we didn't have room for in the book, some of what we're up to just around town. And if people have a chance, I mean, I'm happy for people to get the book, but if you have a chance to come to somewhere that we're going to be talking, we love that because we're hearing so many stories. I'm learning as much since I wrote the book as I did before I wrote the book.
Well, everybody has a story about Forest
Everybody
Park.
has
Something
some
that
kind of a
happened there,
connection, right?
Engagement, or
Totally.
It is
Yep.
so cool. Well, Amanda, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, and congratulations on yet another book. What does this make?
This is lucky number 13 for me. So,
wow. Well, keep up the great work.
Thanks so much for having me.
There you go. We've got Captain Carl, the intern, over there on, he's running the board, and he's doing traffic. And, well, how is traffic?
Traffic it's slow where it's normally slow. And the accident has been cleared in Richmond Heights at 6440 eastbound before Big Bend. Slow traffic all the way back through McKnight. Someone asked last time why I didn't mention the sinkhole. You already all know about the sinkhole, so I don't need to mention it. It has not been fixed. There's still traffic being diverted downtown. This traffic report's brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone's saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. I'm Carl the intern. I'm sorry, Captain Carl the intern.
Captain is right.
At the Big 550 KTRS.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but yesterday morning when you got out of bed, did you notice like the humidity, all the fog? Like I could have drawn a whole picture on my windows because of the dew. Matter of fact, I think our air conditioner was just running over because it was so warm. But this is when you know if your windows are working or not. Is that hot air coming in? Or is that cool air staying in? And right now, Window Depot of St. Louis, they have all kinds of great promotions going on. Now, if you don't know, if you've never worked with Window Depot of St. Louis, here's what I love, and there's a handful of things, but I'm going to start with their motto is we create happy customers. I mean, who wouldn't want to work with a company where that is their goal? They do what's right, and they treat every single customer as we'd want our mom to be treated. If you ask me, that is reason number one to work with Window Depot. Now, the other thing that I love is they're not, searching for that huge project where you're going to redo every single window in your house. They'll come out and fix 2 windows if that's what you need. They want to make sure that you're happy. We create happy customers. That's what Window Depot of St. Louis does. And then they have the 5-star blue carpet treatment. And nothing tells me more about a company than when they come in and they have dirty shoes and they're tracking in mud. That's not what you get when you're working with Window Depot of St. Louis. The 5-star blue carpet treatment, they place blue runners on the floors and carpets. They use drop cloths everywhere they go. They vacuum when the job is done. Then they clean the windows, leaving a bottle of Window Depot glass cleaner behind and offer you free refills for life. And then they also leave you the rags to do it. So you can call Window Depot at 636-939-4800. That's 636-939-4800, or find them online at windowdepotstl.com.
You know that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. 1 great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware, or schnarrshardware.com.
In soccer, a guaranteed win is rare. But in real estate, Gloria Lou makes it happen.
Sell with certainty this summer with Gloria Lou at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. While the world's best score on the field, Gloria scores and sells for you this summer. Her summer upfront guarantee. Gloria will sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Since 1974, Permajack of St. Louis has been helping residential and commercial owners protect their biggest investment. From successfully solving foundation structural problems to making sure basements remain dry, Permajack has performed tens of thousands of projects on both sides of the river, utilizing state-of-the-art technology, techniques, and equipment. Permajack of St. Louis has done it with honesty and integrity, never recommending anything outside of what you really need. For many repairs, Permajack provides a transferable life of structure warranty, all while Permajack of St. Louis has earned a BBB A+ rating and accreditation. For foundation settlement, bowed or buckling walls, cracks in your foundation, walls or bricks, or basement waterproofing, choose the hometown family-owned team at Permajack of St. Louis. Schedule your free inspection and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, solid as rock.
St. Louis is a small town, and we all know it, especially Indoor Comfort Team. Since their beginning in 1979, Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning has served their neighbors with old-school honesty and integrity, fair and common-sense pricing, and fast, reliable service with real human support. When you call them, whether you need a second opinion or a whole new HVAC system, you'll get a real human being on the other line. No AI, no robot answering machines. From HVAC installation to repairs, even water heaters, Indoor Comfort Team will take care of you. And with summer already upon us, maybe it's time to get that air conditioner checked. Indoor Comfort Team takes care of our community because they're a part of it. Check them out today at indoorcomfortteam.com
or call 314-894-8200.
Fisher & Fritchell Homes pays tribute to our military personnel, veterans, first responders, teachers, and nurses with its Community Champions Loyalty Program, which provides them with a special savings bonus when they buy a Fisher & Fritchell home. This 4th of July, Fisher & Fritchell thanks all our heroes who have protected our freedom for 250 years.
For the first time in a generation, the World Cup is back on North American soil. From St. Louis City SC to the global stage, there's never been a more exciting time to be a soccer fan in the Lou. Just like a championship team needs a game plan, your retirement deserves one too. At Means Financial Group, we help individuals and families build retirement strategies designed for confidence and clarity. Learn more at meansfinancialgroup.com. Means Financial Group. Planning for what retirement means to you.
What if every day felt like the weekend? At Innsbrook Resort, it can. Enjoy lakes, trails, golf, live music, family fun, and delicious on-site dining, all just outside St. Louis. Whether you're looking for the perfect getaway, a vacation home, a full-time residence, or a place to build your dream retreat, discover a lifestyle designed around relaxation, recreation, and connection. Learn more at innsbrook-resort.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Well, back in the day on this date, Carl and Heidi, June 29th, 1955, Bill Haley and the Comets' Rock Around the Clock went to #1 and stayed there for 7 weeks. Carl, correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first rock and roll song?
Technically it is.
Aside from Rocket 88, which we all know is the real first rock and roll song.
Doesn't count.
Talk to Art about that. 63 years ago, 1963, the first song written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney made it to the Hot 100. It was From Me to You, From Me to You, but was performed by Del Shannon.
Really?
The Beatles didn't hit the chart with their own music until
no, this was the first
months
one that
later.
they had already written.
But
the first Lennon McCartney that was
their
not
first
done by
appearance was by Del Shannon. 59 years ago, 1967, Jane Mansfield killed in a car
Mariska's
crash.
mom, and she was in the back seat.
Did you watch
daughter
the
and
documentary?
two
No, and I
sons.
need to. Yeah.
The two sons were back there as well. She was only 3 at the time, has no memory of the accident. Almost thank God.
Yeah.
You know? And then 36 years ago, 1990, this one's for Bob, who's on vacation. A major league record was set. 2 no-hitters were pitched on the same night by 2 different pitchers in 2 different leagues, the Oakland A's Dave Stewart and the LA Dodgers Fernando Valenzuela.
Wonder if it's ever happened again.
Just real quick before we hit top of the hour, 2007, the first iPhone went on sale.
Wow. And
Save the best for last.
Look where we are today. Coming up, we're going to be joined by Ryan Kroll, St. Louis Magazine. He's got a couple of really interesting stories he's working on, and he'll kind of give us the tidbits about those. That's coming up. I hope you'll hang out with us here. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Carl.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. President Trump weighing in on several major decisions from the Supreme Court today. One of those decisions upholds a Mississippi law allowing election officials to count ballots that arrive in the mail late, so long as those ballots are postmarked by Election Day.
The ruling, which a lot of people were waiting for, that was a ruling that was, I think it was very detrimental to honest elections.
The court also rejecting the president's attempts to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook over allegations of mortgage fraud, claims Cook denies.
Chief Justice John Roberts writes for a divided court that the president cannot remove a member of the Federal Reserve Board, quote, for any time, for any reason, without any notice before, and without any judicial check after. Doing so, Roberts writes, would turn for-cause protection into little more than at-will employment. It was a 5-4 decision, with conservative Brett Kavanaugh and the court's 3 liberal justices joining Roberts' majority opinion.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Tomorrow, the court is also expected to issue rulings on cases involving trans athletes participating in college sports and birthright citizenship. Today, House Speaker Mike Johnson sent that bipartisan housing bill, which passed the House and Senate last week, to the president's desk for his signature. Trump has 10 days to either sign it or veto the bill. Otherwise, it becomes law without his signature. Luigi Mangione will stand trial in the federal case against him next January. He's the man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in 2024. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer says his state trial comes first.
We have these 2 cases for Luigi Mangione, one in the state, one in the federal system. We know the state is primed and ready to begin their trial first. The federal case will happen sometime in the beginning of January. And so it's the idea of what are the final things that we need to put in place to make sure that once we are completed with the state case, how's the federal case going to progress?
And 100 million people are under heat advisors in the eastern part of the country. You're listening to ABC News.
Station identification.
KTRS St. Louis.
Streaming live at ktrs.com.
Before you put your home on the market, before you have to pay money fixing it up to sell it, before you have to pay real estate commissions, call me. I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I will buy your home. Any property, any condition, anywhere, and always as is. Call me, Mike Robinson with Robank Properties at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. You have nothing to lose when you call Robank Properties at 314-283-0867.
Maybe it's a game-winning goal on a Saturday morning, a breakaway with seconds left, the wins, the losses, the love of the game. Now those moments have a new home. The CarShield Sportsplex is bringing together youth soccer, youth hockey, and a place for athletes of all ages to play, compete, and grow. From first practices to championship dreams, the CarShield Sportsplex is built for the next generation of athletes. Visit CarShieldSportsplex.com for more information.
Summer in St. Louis means oppressive heat and humidity. Now is the time to take advantage of Aldon Heating and Cooling's $79 AC check with a free home air quality snapshot. And summer is allergy season. Now's the time to take advantage of Aldon's $200 off an allergy relief package, which includes an air scrubber and filtration system. Book your appointment now as spaces are filling up fast. Certain restrictions apply. And for information on a state-of-the-art Dyke and Fit system, visit al-don.com.
Mom, what do you always say? There's nothing sadder than jewelry that sits in a drawer.
That's why we are proud to offer jewelry repair on-site at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. We know that your jewelry is important to you, and we take that part of our job very seriously. Visit us at Doherty Ferry in Big Bend or learn more at wowdiamonds.com.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis with my home when it matters most. They are the local experts who know our area best. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit pella.com/radio to learn more. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Statue with Joe Frazier.
Good afternoon. It's 4:03 and 94 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Weesey. Here's the latest from the KTRS newsroom. Dangerous heat is back in the St. Louis area this week. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
The extreme heat has health officials reminding to take precautions to avoid heat-related illnesses. This includes drinking plenty of water, staying in an air-conditioned environment as much as possible, and checking on elderly neighbors, friends, and relatives. Those in need of a cooling shelter should call the United Way at 211. Pet owners should also keep their pets in an air-conditioned environment as much as possible. Now, anyone who sees an animal in distress should call their nearest law enforcement agency. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
The St. Louis Board of Aldermen have approved a $1.4 billion budget. It's awaiting Mayor Kara Spencer's signature and will take effect on Wednesday. St. Louis City SC2 had to temporarily suspend its match yesterday after shots were fired outside Energizer Park. Police say the incident occurred at an apartment complex near 17th and Chestnut, leaving one person injured. 2 suspects are now in custody. The match eventually resumed, and after an all-clear was given, with City 2 falling to Austin FC 2. Ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, released a statement on the Supreme Court's 5-4 decision in favor of a Mississippi law that permits counting mail-in ballots postmarked by Election Day and arriving within 5 business days. The statement reads in part, "There is nothing more fundamental in a democracy than the right to vote, whether that be in person at the polls or with a mail-in ballot." He adds Congress must restore and strengthen the protections of the Voting Rights Act. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Noel Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Boeing St. Louis held a ribbon-cutting ceremony today for the brand-new Advanced Robotic Coding Center at its Berkeley site. It's one of the recent facility investments that is now complete and will become classified in August. A look now at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in for Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 until 11 a.m. The Dow closes up 306 points at 52,182. The S&P 500 up 86 at 7440. And the NASDAQ up big 522 points at 25,820. Now let's head over to the Royal Banks of Missouri sports desk, where the draft weekend quite eventful for the Blues, making 9 selections and multiple trades. The big swap was the acquisition of Mason McTavish from Anaheim for a couple of first-round picks. The note also brought in defenseman Brandon Carlo from Toronto for 2 third-rounders. Cards off today. They'll be in Atlanta to begin a series with the Braves tomorrow. Now let's get a check on those roadways. Captain Carl the intern is in for Paul Kopsky. Hello, Carl.
Hey, thank you, Brendan. We've got stop-and-go traffic in Valley Park on 141 southbound approaching Elam Avenue. Also, the sinkhole is still downtown. They've not fixed it magically. And we've got slowdowns where you're normally slowed down. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour, or have the Rack House cater your next event with boxed lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. I'm Captain Carl the intern with KTRS Traffic.
Thank you, Captain Carl.
You're welcome, Brett.
Let's take a look at that weather forecast. Extreme heat warning remains in effect through Friday night. Hot and humid throughout the afternoon. We're going to top out around 95 before it's all said and done. Tonight, clear skies, lows around 78. Tomorrow, we'll run it back, hot and humid. Highs in the upper 90s. Rain doesn't return until maybe the weekend, but those are only supposed to be isolated chances. Currently at Westport Plaza, we've got cloudy skies and 94 degrees. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Weesey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Monday afternoon, June 29th, 9-year-old's rare baseball card sells for nearly $75,000 at auction. Opening baseball card packs is a hobby built on hope, the chance that the next pack could contain something extraordinary. And for 9-year-old Mason Dean of Arizona, that long shot became a reality when he pulled a one-of-one autographed rookie card redemption of Chicago White Sox star Murakami from a box of Topps Chrome Black baseball cards. He said, I was like, this is crazy. I'd never even heard of a card like that. Mason and his dad, Bradley, regularly collect and trade baseball cards together, often searching for their favorite players while building what they jokingly call their trading business. It's something that's fun to do with your son, his dad said. The family decided to auction the rare card, though Bradley admitted it was a nerve-wracking decision. As bidding intensified during the auction's final minutes, the card's value climbed dramatically before ultimately selling for just south of $75,000. Mason joked that he'd like to spend some of the money on more baseball cards and V-Bucks, but his dad said the family decided to put the proceeds toward his college fund.
Smart.
While the money is significant, the Dean family said the experience itself is what they'll remember most. Their story isn't over yet. After the sale, the family reached out to the Chicago White Sox, who arranged for Mason to meet Murakami next month at a game in Chicago.
I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but for the college fund, $75,000. Jeff Sufal could tell you half a dozen places to put that.
Yeah.
And that's $75,000. Good. Yeah. How old was he?
9.
Could double.
Oh, triple.
Triple by the time he actually starts attending college. And guess what? If he joins the military or goes to a trade school, there's ways to get that money back out or roll it over into a 401k. I'll tell you more about that later. Ford has rehired a bunch of humans after their AI failed to match their skills and experience. Ford adopted 900 cameras, 900 AI cameras in its plants to detect quality issues at the source and help mitigate supply disruptions, but they realized that the 900 cameras were no match for the 300 veteran quality inspectors that they had fired in recent years that over the course of the last year they have rehired.
So these are inspectors. These aren't even the people building the cars.
I mean, they go in there. You know, the robots build the cars, right? We've all seen the robotic arms and everything coming in, putting the pieces together.
But you have a person that's there with it, at least.
And now you have 300 more because they brought them back. They go on to say artificial intelligence is a fantastic tool, but it's only as good as the information you use to train it. They have noticed that they were dipping in quality and had to call people back to work. Mistakenly, we thought that just by introducing AI and ingesting the design requirements that we had, we would produce a high-quality product. They were wrong. Now, no word on if the AI can learn over the next course of the couple of years, quantum computing, all this stuff, if they'll end up putting AI back into this process. But it's just not where it's at right now. And at least for Ford, they rehired 300 veteran quality inspectors.
Yeah, well, just think of how everything is changed. And I'm thinking just even going from your TV set to then VHS recorder to, now what we have with a thumb drive, and then you're saving it on a cloud. The good news is at St. Louis County Library, they have all the equipment that you can actually take and digitize those old family videos on VHS and turn it into whatever the latest technology is. What I love about the Emerson History and Genealogy Center is not only do they have all of the equipment at the Clark Family Branch, we're talking thousands of family histories, digital archive, databases, detailed maps. It's the trained staff that will actually help you start your own family history project. The center includes a memory lab where you can record family histories. Think of how cool that would be if your child, isn't allowed to really meet grandma or grandpa, but you can have grandma and grandpa sit down and tell them a couple of stories about you when you were a little kid, and then your child has that to hold on to forever. So they've got all the equipment to digitize old photos or convert VHS tapes to digital files, and you can learn more about everything St. Louis County Library offers. Just go to slcl.org. Coming up, Brian Kroll joins us to talk about a couple of the stories he's covering for St. Louis Magazine, and that includes a story about the new North-South Rapid Bus Line, how it's taking shape, and what exactly is a rapid bus line? I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Guido's Pizzeria and Tapas on the Hill, offering a taste of Spain in the middle of Italy, would like to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. Guido's pays tribute to America's enduring freedom for 250 years and thanks all those that protect and preserve that freedom.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
It's been a tough Saturday on the lake. I ordered swim trunks in this orange cream color, but it's actually more orange auburn. Oh, and it's swimwear. I probably can't even return these.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Kick off the season with a winning team. Choose Hackett Security to watch your home while you're watching the game. Hackett Security has a system to meet every budget. They are a locally owned national security company with on-site 24/7 UL-listed monitoring. Visit HackettSecurity.com or call 314-432-4200. Who will be watching your home while you're watching the game? Hackett Security. They're looking out for you. 314-432-4200. HACKETT. Security.com.
For 6 generations, the name Edwards has stood for unwavering trust in wealth management. At Benjamin F. Edwards, we're fiercely independent and remain committed to putting our clients first. America's the greatest nation on earth, and this 4th of July, we want to thank all those that have sacrificed, protected, and continue to protect America's independence for 250 years.
Member SIPC.
At Midland, we know sometimes all it takes is a moment for an idea to spark, or to make it happen, a moment to find your dream, or build one, a moment to start your forever, or at least start planning for it. Whatever moments you have, Midland is here for them and can help you make them. Midland, brighter together. Visit us at midlandsb.com. Midland States Bank is member FDIC.
Jacob Baths and Showers, a local family-owned company for nearly 50 years, and they specialize in helping you age in place with a new bath and shower design. They use composite materials that look like luxury stone. It lasts a lifetime, and most installations take 1 to 2 days. Jacob Baths and Showers have showrooms in Fenton and Fairview Heights, Illinois. Mention you heard about it here on KTRS. JacobBaths.com.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at SimplySecureDentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or SimplySecureDentures.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550. KTRS. It's Monday.
And that means news, politics, lighthearted topics, and everything St. Louis and beyond.
It's Ryan Kroll from St. Louis Magazine on the Big 550 KTRS. The talk of St. Louis.
Used cooking oil is a hot commodity these days, thanks in part to laws on biofuels. Ryan has a story about just that in St. Louis Magazine. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing great, Heidi and Josh. How are you guys doing?
We're fantastic. Before we get to the nitty-gritty, what is grease being used for?
Yeah, so this is the stuff that, you fry your fries in, that kind of thing. And then what I think a lot of people don't know is that the used grease gets put in this sort of giant container outside of the restaurant. Oftentimes it's by the dumpsters. And then it can be used for a lot of things. But one of the things that makes it really valuable is it can be included essentially like in the gasoline supply. It can be made into a biofuel that then can get mixed with gasoline. And it's, there's a good chance there's a little bit of it in your car right now. So that's what makes it so valuable.
And so this story that you're covering, thieves from a Soulard bar, is that what happened? They kind of were stealing this used grease over 3 nights last year?
Yeah, so this got my attention last year whenever this guy named Ronald Braden was accused of stealing over the course of 3 nights, used grease from McGurk's in Soulard. And, it's sort of a goofy crime. It kind of caught my attention. This is a little bit specific and personal, but I grew up watching The Simpsons quite a bit. And there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer becomes a grease thief. And I didn't know that was something that actually existed in real life until I heard this. I saw the police report about Ronald Braden last year. So I've been following the case for about 18 months. And so he got busted stealing grease over the course of 3 nights from McGurk's in Soulard. And at first I thought it was just kind of a goofy, news of the weird kind of thing. I did a few stories about it. But then just last week, the federal prosecutors in Missouri unsealed its indictment against like 6 different guys. And the gist of it is basically folks were going around all of Missouri stealing grease, from McGurk's, from like a Raising Cane's, from places in Springfield, Missouri. And all that grease was going to this one individual in the small town of Republic, Missouri. And then he was sort of laundering it, for lack of a better term, into that biofuel supply that I mentioned before. And it was a more than $1 million scheme that these guys had going on, where they were ripping off folks who thought they were buying legitimately recycled grease that they couldn't be made into alternative fuel.
So biodiesel is what you can turn it into. People call it yellow gold. You can sell it for 50 cents per gallon. And I guess if you just have a bunch of this stuff, you could tip the scales at $1.3 million. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's just one specific company that he was selling to, was that $1.3 million. It sounds like there's probably even more ill-gotten gains than just that. So, this is really valuable stuff. And I think that there could be some sort of more shoes to drop here. It was just the McGurk's case that I was following, but I think there's probably stuff from all around the state that is tied to this one, conspiracy.
Is used cooking oil easy to steal? Is it sitting in a container out back and you just load it into a truck, or is it more detailed than that?
Yeah, it is. If you have the equipment, it's pretty easy to steal. So like in the McGurk's case, they keep their greases in this container sort of by the dumpsters. And basically, you need like a big truck to come in and sort of suck out this.
Got it.
But the fact is that if police see a truck doing it, it just looks like you're the legitimate recycling guys, because, what criminals have access to this kind of stuff? It just looks very kind of on the up and up. And it's often done at night, and it only takes about 5 minutes. So, one guy who he actually works as a corporate investigator for a legitimate grease recycler. He told me that this is basically a sort of low risk, high reward opportunity for the criminally minded.
Wow, very interesting. Another story you're working on, a judge ruled there would be no bond for a Florissant man busted with 3,000 pounds of fireworks in North City. What's the backstory here? Was he going to resell these?
Yeah, so this is a guy, I think he was a Florissant man, but he kept his 3,000 pounds of fireworks in North City. So he was reselling them. There's all these like Molly Browns and places like that, but those are all out. I think even beyond St. Louis, I think fireworks sales are illegal in St. Louis County, and they're definitely illegal in the city. So what he was doing was he was importing them to his house in North City, and people would just come by and buy them from his house. And a neighbor got concerned because she'd read on the news that, and this is she was right to be concerned. Someone else, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, who had a similar operation going. His cache of fireworks exploded, and it caused it was horrendous. So she was worried that something similar was going to happen. So she called the police, and I don't think so. The police, they take this very seriously, especially this time of the year. So they showed up. They found 3,000 pounds of fireworks, and there were sort of so many fireworks that they had to get out of the house, that the officers actually had to form like a human chain from this guy's basement to a big truck out front, and they were just passing box after box after box just to unload this stuff.
And where do you buy? People came to his house and they just made transactions like that. But who's the fireworks kingpin? Can I call up some company and say I need 3,000 pounds of fireworks?
Hey, Josh, I think you just assigned me a new story because that is a really good question. I don't know. I doubt it's like Amazon or something like that.
Right.
Obviously, like the legitimate fireworks places, they must have some kind of wholesaler. So I'm serious. That is a very good question. I'm going to look into that.
All right. Well, we'll follow up with you on that one next week. What about this north-south bus rapid transit? I know they're taking a big step forward, but what exactly is rapid transit? How's it different than what we see now?
Yeah, so I'm personally really excited about this So bus rapid transit kind of cuts the difference between just a regular old city bus and like the MetroLink. So it's a bus that has a dedicated lane on the road, so it really doesn't have to contend with other traffic. And then the bus stops are a little bit nicer. They look kind of more like MetroLink stations where they're raised from the street. They have an awning. And the bus, because it doesn't have to deal with that other traffic, and because these buses have the right-of-way and the stoplight, they're basically generally always on time. You know, with the bus, it's kind of hit or miss. But with this, it's like a parallel network of streets, a parallel network to the street for the bus to run on. And it's just more reliable. It's faster. And then I think the reason that city leaders like it is because it's much cheaper to build than like MetroLink light rail. But also, if you need to change things, like if you need to add a new stop, that kind of thing, it's relatively inexpensive to do so. So it's more flexible than something like the MetroLink.
So do we have an estimated route where we think this thing is going to go?
Yeah, they just finally settled on that last week, and it would basically start in South City in the Dutchtown neighborhood, run through downtown, and then sort of cut the edge of North City. I think it's along, I want to say North Florissant Road. So it would be about, 18 stops in general, south to north. And the idea is that right now the MetroLink runs east to west. So this would kind of supplement it running north to south.
And when can we see it being put into use?
Well, being put into use, it's probably not going to be until 2030. But if all goes according to plan, they should start building this thing next year. And the big sort of unknown right now, I think everyone's optimistic, but it's, the deal is not quite in hand yet, is that they do need some federal money to get this done. I think everyone's on the same page and is eager to make that happen. But with all things, it's not a done deal until, I guess, the ink's dry.
So how much was that price tag for the MetroLink that would have run north to south? That was like $1 billion in climbing.
Yeah, that was like $1.2 billion.
And
funded. Yeah,
this would be much cheaper. But go back and talk about, would they have to dig up? Obviously, they'd have to lay track if they wanted to run a train there. And what if the line fails or it's not as popular? Now you just have track. At least this would be a road that you could open up to regular traffic if the bus line doesn't bring the commuters that they think. But it would be a dedicated lane. The stoplights would be controlled by the bus, and it would just zip up and down in between the other two lanes?
Exactly. So, yeah, it would be like when the fire truck's going through the bus, I think they have some ability to change the light as well. And then a lot of these roads are a lot of the route is along these already really wide roads, like Tucker, for instance.
Okay.
So you wouldn't need to even build a lane in that case. You could just, carve one off for the bus.
Wow. And has this been pitched to city as far as communities? Do people actually like this route, and are they supporting it?
Yeah, I would say it is more popular than not. I think there's a lot of people who also really like the idea of, like Josh mentioned, that green line for the MetroLink, but that's just going to cost, I think it's $1.2 billion for like a slimmed down version of the MetroLink green line, whereas it would actually cover more ground, and it's only going to cost about $400 billion.
Got it. Oh, it's a deal. Yeah. You can follow these stories and more of Ryan Kroll's reports online at stlmag.com. Ryan, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Stay cool.
All right, time to check in with Captain Carl, the intern.
Thank you, Heidi. We have an accident reported in Florissant 270 eastbound at New Florissant and Route N. Stop and go traffic all the way back to the inner belt. That's exit 26A. There's an accident on the left shoulder in St. Louis County, 44 westbound, west of 141. Stop and go traffic all the way back to the Merritt's overpass. And also, the sinkhole still exists. So watch out for downtown.
That's Captain Carl. Didn't somebody used to call you Captain Carl?
Yes, when I was on K-Hits with JC and John.
And that's because you went to CBC.
I did, and I graduated as a captain, but
as a captain.
I did it.
I always forget that CBC, Christian Brothers College, the cadets were actual real cadets, and they were named Carl.
And also,
one was named Carl.
Cadet Carl.
But also, Phil Hartman's character on Pee-wee's Playhouse was named Captain Carl.
Oh, yeah.
All fun.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Well, Captain Carl, thank you for doing
it's all back
traffic today. I mentioned about 10 minutes ago about the kid that sold that baseball card for $75,000. He's 9 years old. You save that for another 9 years. What, 18, 19 years old? That's when kids go off to college. Boy, Jeff Zufall could find a place to put that. Maybe try a Missouri Most where you can get some tax benefits for it. And as long as it's used for schooling, you don't have to pay on the capital gains. 9 years of capital gains on $75,000. Can you imagine how much that would be? Or if you don't want to put it there, Jeff's got probably half a dozen other places to put stuff. Not to mention the fact that when you start your grease business, you can, Jeff specializes in small businesses. He can help you figure out how to make that grease business possible, reselling that grease legally. Jeff likes to keep it on the up and up. 636-394-5524, capitaladvisorygrp.com. If you want to start a savings account for your kid and you want to figure out where to put it, and if they happen to join the military or they go to a trade school or they go to community college for a couple of years and you realize you don't need $75,000, $80,000, $100,000, he'll tell you where you could put that as well. Capitaladvisorygrp.com, Jeff Zufall.
Summer is a time to relax with friends and family. Vacations, barbecues, pool days, even movie nights. But for thousands of our neighbors in the St. Louis area, their struggles don't take a vacation. That's why all of us here at KTRS are partnering with Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis for a Christmas in July promotion.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Presented by Royal Banks of Missouri.
We'll be co-hosting a family movie night at Westport Plaza on July 10th for a free viewing of Disney's Cars. Come out and enjoy the movie on the massive screen at Westport Plaza and bring an unwrapped toy or non-perishable item for Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis.
Whew, only 10 million more lists to go.
This summer, while you're making memories, help someone else find hope. Come out to the Westport Plaza Movie Night on July 10th or visit ccstl.org and make a donation today. It's the Royal Banks of Missouri Christmas in July promotion on the Big 550 KTRS.
Presented by Appliance Discounters, Connor Roofing, and Altair Travel.
When you want to send flowers to a loved one for a birthday, anniversary, or that special occasion, call your friends at Walter Knoll Florist. Walter Knoll is family-owned and operated and offers custom designs by expert designers. A huge inventory and selection that only the largest florist can offer, with quality and care that no grocery store florist can meet. They have several locations in the St. Louis metro area to serve you. Order online today at WKF.com. That's WKF.com. Walter Knoll Florist, your personal florist since 1883.
Summer in St. Louis means oppressive heat and humidity. Now is the time to take advantage of Aldon Heating and Cooling's $79 AC check with a free home air quality snapshot. And summer is allergy season. Now is the time to take advantage of Aldon's $200 off an allergy relief package, which includes an air scrubber and filtration system. Book your appointment now as spaces are filling up fast. Certain restrictions apply. And for information on a state-of-the-art dike and fit system, visit al-don.com. When you build a home, the floor plan, the finishes, Every room is yours from the very first line on the blueprint, and nobody does it better than Fisher and Fritchell Homes. We're building carefree villas, family homes, and luxurious estates in sought-after, amenity-packed communities in O'Fallon, St. Peters, Wentzville, Manchester, Wildwood, and glorious St. Albans. No time to build? Check out our selection of move-in ready homes, all with the quality craftsmanship you'd expect from Fisher and Fritchell. Visit fnfhomes.com for a map of locations. That's fnfhomes.com.
Summer is officially here.
Time for outdoor activities, sporting events, seasonal festivals, everything but cooking. Treat Dad to a great breakfast. The best in St. Louis, according to the Post-Dispatch. Lunch while you're out and about, or a terrific home-style dinner. Nobody is disappointed with Gingham's. And don't forget our fabulous desserts. We're open 24 hours a day, so no matter when hunger strikes, Gingham's is open and ready to serve you.
Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
SSM Healthcare Group, DBA SLU Care Physician Group, seeks physicians internal medicine in St. Louis, Missouri to provide internal medicine service including diagnosing and treating acute medical needs of patients and interpreting patient data to determine appropriate and effective diagnostic and therapeutic procedures as necessary. May also engage in clinical education. Please send resume to James Willis, Director of Business Operations, Internal Medicine, SLU Care Physician Group at james.willis@ssmhealth.com.
It's lurking in your basement, over there in the corner. Or it could be mold and mildew, or even that musty smell. All signs of water entering your basement and causing damage to your most expensive investment, your home. When you suspect water damage, use the hometown waterproofing experts at Permajack of St. Louis. Permajack provides permanent solutions to all your nagging water problems. Whether it's a simple crack repair, perimeter drainage system, waterproof wall panels, exterior waterproofing, or even installing a sump pump, Permajack of St. Louis does it, and they do it right. After all, Permajack is the company St. Louis has trusted for almost 50 years. If you've noticed water in your basement, contact us for a free inspection, system design, and estimate at permajackofstlewis.com. That's permajackofstlewis.com. Permajack, foundation repair and waterproofing. Done right.
Look at our alums, the contributions that they have made throughout industries in the St. Louis region.
Terry Freerks, a graduate of the University of Missouri, St. Louis.
UMSL is embedded in the fabric of the St. Louis community. We're hands-on, and when our students graduate, they are definitely career ready, but maybe more importantly, they're career confident.
More is what moves us. Find your more at more.umsl.edu.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight.
Well, summer is a time for barbecues with friends and family, maybe hanging out at the pool. But for thousands of our neighbors here in St. Louis, their struggles never take a vacation. And that's why the Big 550 is teaming up with Catholic Charities in Westport Plaza for Christmas in July. We're doing 2 family movie nights, and Father Dan Thies is spearheading things for Catholic Charities and joins us with all the deets. It is so good to see you, and just, to be completely honest, Father Dan and I have known each other for quite a while.
A few years.
Yeah, a few years.
And it's so good to see you.
Oh, my gosh. So I love that we're all doing this together. But before we get to the movie nights, let's just talk about Catholic Charities and all of the services that the organization offers.
Absolutely. And I want to start with our mission, and it's to provide the healing, help, and hope of Jesus Christ to those in need with a compassionate, caring presence. And it starts there. But I want to go to the presence part.
Yeah.
And it means that's really important for me. The presence means you're with the people.
Oh.
And that's what our ministries do. Our ministries are out in the community, in our churches, in our parishes, in our neighborhoods, in the community. And we're there for the people.
It's so interesting because I just heard a homily a couple weeks ago, and it was basically about teaching social workers and how they were so overwhelmed with everything that was going on in the world. And the message was, you can't fix everything, but maybe you can fix one thing or help one person. And that's kind of what you guys do.
Absolutely. And you can't do everything. You know, we all know that. But if you can encounter with one person and make a difference for that one person, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Because then it spreads. And it goes out to other people. And there's like, oh, I can do a little something.
Yeah.
And that's what this whole program's about.
Which is so fun. So let's go back to some of the things that you guys offer people.
Sure. At Catholic Charities, we have a slew of ministries, as I refer to them. And one of them is developed into this, Christmas in July program. But we provide social services caseworkers. And it was a little over a year ago, that the tornado devastated North St. Louis. And we have incredible people who are working with families, with people, getting them into housing, getting them settled again. I work with food a little bit throughout the Archdiocese, and is part of my my personal mission as well.
I was going to say, your passion.
My passion, you know that. Yeah, and making sure people are fed. And what I go to is just the corporal works of mercy. It's kind of like, okay, people have food to eat, something to drink, and just shelter and clothing, basic necessities of life. But it's also the counseling that's provided and the caseworkers that work with all these families and everybody else. And then they'll call up and say, hey, do you have something? And I was like, yeah, sure. Let me see what I can find.
Yeah.
As being from Chicago, there's the phrase, and they give me a hard time about it around Catholic Charities. It's like, I know a guy.
And that's what it's all about.
It is
knowing a guy that can help. And what we're trying to do here together is just maybe make sure that kids who might not have a gift this Christmas,
absolutely,
that they do.
Absolutely.
Even if it's something simple. So we're doing these 2 movie nights.
Right.
We're sponsoring the first one July 10th. We're showing Cars. How much fun is that?
I know. Isn't it a blast?
Oh.
I know. And who doesn't like cars? I mean,
yeah, it's for everyone.
And cars that talk.
Yes, and Cars that talk. And it kind of, there's so many jokes blended in there that's really just for the adults.
They're subtle.
But all you have to do is come with your family, watch the movie, and then we're asking to bring an unwrapped toy?
An unwrapped toy or whatever people can bring.
Yeah.
And it's going to make a difference in a child's life because it's not only about Christmas in July, but it's Christmas toward the end of the year. And I refer to this so many times, too. When we deal with toys, it's kids helping kids.
Yeah.
And that's, they feel a part of it, and they are a part of it.
Well, that's a great point because it's really a teaching moment for parents.
Absolutely.
To find a toy that they love and then say, okay, we're going to give this to somebody who might not be as lucky as you are.
Absolutely. And that's part of the healing, help, and hope.
Mm-hmm.
Because it provides hope. It's like, hey, you know what? Someone's thinking about me. Someone's caring about me. And that's the relationship that you develop with people.
Absolutely.
And those are the caring moments that we cherish in our own lives.
So you're going to have so much fun on July 10th with Cars. Yeah. You're going to want to come back July 31st for another great one, Sandlot.
Sandlot, I know.
You're
it's baseball season. I know. I was thinking the same thing. What a great movie.
It is so much fun.
Yeah, I was just looking that up the other day, and it was like, first thing that came up was, you're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, which is so funny because I used to say that occasionally to Marcia, and she didn't know what I was talking about. And then finally, we watched Sandlot together, and she said, I get it now.
My brother used to say that to me all the time. You're killing me, Smalls.
It's going to be so much fun. And again, all people have to do is come relax with their families, take in a great movie. The screen here, I don't even know how big it is. It's massive.
It's massive.
Yeah.
It really is. And, the fun thing is we have this van, and we'd like to fill it up.
We're going to fill that thing up.
We're going to fill it. I know we are because people, and I want to thank the people of St. Louis first and foremost as well, because they are extremely generous.
It's amazing. I think more generous than any other city in the country.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And, a need goes out and people respond.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all you have to do is ask. And it's like, it's overwhelming at times, the generosity of people. So thank you to the people of St. Louis.
Well, Father Dan, it is great to see you. Keep up the fantastic work at Catholic Charities. Hopefully I'll see you over at St. Vincent's. And you guys come out to Westport Plaza movie night on July 10th and 31st with your unwrapped toy or non-perishable food item. And you can also visit ccstl.org if you can't make it and just want to donate to this great mission. Thank you so much.
And I got one quick story I'd like to close with. It was right after the tornado, and I was up at Del Mar and Euclid. And it was about 9 o'clock at night. And I walked down the street, and there was a gentleman sitting on a porch. And for some reason, it was just like I got drawn to him. So I went over, and the roof of his building was in the front lawn, and there was a wall missing on the house. And I sat down next to him. And he's my guardian angel. And I just looked at him and I said, "My name's Dan." And he goes, "I'm William." And we just sat there for a moment. And he said, "You know what? My family's lived here for 3 generations. And sometimes God has other plans for us." I'll never forget that. I've never seen him again, but I think of him every day. He's like my guardian angel in St. Louis. So, William, you're out there. Thank you. And thanks for all you do for all of us at Catholic Charities. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Father Dan.
Both Chapel wants to wish you and your family a safe and happy 4th of July. They've been providing compassionate and professional funeral and cremation services to the St. Louis community for over 100 years. For more info, go to bopechapel.com. Happy 4th of July from Bope Chapel.
You know, that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
Do you have the option to control your cash flow and wealth? Are you getting a return on your greatest asset, your lifetime and potential generational income? Overcome these critical financial planning challenges by discovering the Control Option Mindset featuring the Lifetime and Generational Income Maximizer. Call Mark Benson and his team at the Control Option at 314-432-9540 or online at thecontroloptionmindset.com.
Don't miss the summer sale going on all month long at Appliance Discounters. Come in today and save, and they'll deliver it tomorrow. Savings up to 60% off select models. In addition to their sales prices, Appliance Discounters is having huge factory rebates on select models. They have a 50,000 square foot warehouse full of savings. Just come by one of their 6 showrooms and they'll show you why they're called the Appliance Discounters. Appliance Discounters with 6 locations or online at theappliancediscounters.com.
Mike Lippert here for Lisi Lumber, a family-owned company that's been serving the area since 1872. You've heard McGraw mention our knowledgeable staff, excellent customer service, and the best of woods. We're now producing and delivering custom prefabricated trellises, pavilions, and pergolas. Union-made, union-delivered. Homeowners and do-it-yourselfers are going to love these. Got an idea? Send a sketch and some dimensions and we'll take care of the rest. For the best of woods and prefabricated outdoor dreams, call Lisi Lumber 234-0105 or LisiLumber.com.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show
With Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey.
on the Big 550 KTRS.
It's about 11 minutes before 5 o'clock. Let's check back in with Captain Carl, the intern, who's filling in for Captain Paul today.
Thank you, Captain Heidi. Accident reported Ladue, 6440 eastbound past Clayton Warson Woods at exit 28B. And also we have another accident. Where did it go? It's right here. The other accident is right lane block, St. Louis County 44 westbound, west of 141. Stop and go traffic all the way back to Mraz. And the sinkhole still is a sinkhole. Traffic reports brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair, free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They have 2 locations, Manchester and Baldwin, and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. I'm Carl the Intern, Captain Carl the Intern, on the Big 550 KTRS.
We really haven't talked about it yet, but 2 people were taken into police custody after gunfire broke out last night just blocks away from Energizer Park, where a soccer match was underway. Now, St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy said the shooting happened at about 6:30. We were downtown for Pride and felt pretty safe. I know a lot of people, though, today, especially if they were there inside Energizer Park, are
with
kind of
their kids
going through some, different kind of emotions, because it is very scary. And I don't think at that time they knew if someone was inside the park or outside the park, because it's so open. You just heard the gunfire. Such a scary situation. Hopefully in the next couple of days we will be able to talk to somebody with St. Louis Police Department to just see what are they doing to make sure that everybody is safe. As far as staying safe on the 4th of July, Don Mahalik, ABC News law enforcement contributor and retired senior Secret Service agent, is joining us with a few things to remember. And Don, with America 250 celebrations July 4th this year, there's a different kind of take on being safe.
No, absolutely, Heidi. So we have a culmination of America's birthday, 250th celebration, as well as an unprecedented threat situation where lone wolf actors, state actors, and others would love to target these large-scale events in order to cause a disruption, mostly to embarrass the United States and to embarrass the administration for having something occur while we're trying to celebrate America's birthday. Those threats come from not only state actors, but from lone wolf actors who are radicalized in different ways, and as well as they're dealing with the constant cyber threats from other state actors, Russia, China, Iran, that they're also being cognizant of, which is why this July 4th, the federal government, a lot of state and local governments have really taken security to the next level, particularly in Washington, D.C., New York, and Philadelphia. D.C., the July 4th celebrations, the America 250 celebrations, are a national special security event, first time ever. D.C. and New York are not quite at that level, but close. And in all 3 locations, the agencies are creating these pretty robust security measures to keep everybody safe, to monitor what's going on, and to make sure everybody can enjoy themselves without the possibility of an incident happening. D.C., the Secret Service is in the coordinator spot because it's a national special security event, and they set up a grid that extends from the White House to the Jefferson Memorial, from the Capitol building to the Lincoln Memorial, which is essentially, if you're not familiar with D.C., the entire downtown mall area of D.C. where most Americans that go visit D.C. go. That's going to be a perimeter with a magnetometer checkpoints to get in and out of it. And on the exterior of that will be police posts, surveillance, extending out into the environs of D.C., both along the metro and the roadways, to look for suspicious activity coming in and out of D.C. You'll have a similar setup both in New York and Philadelphia because of the events there. New York's got the big sale event. And Philadelphia, of course, is the heart of the America 250 celebration with the Liberty Bell. So all of those three locations will be will look pretty different than what they normally look on the 4th of July, with some pretty visible security and probably a lot of invisible security as well.
Don, do we have the people for this? Are people working double shifts? How are we filling this need?
The agencies and all the personnel are, in the case of a lot of the cities, are forcing their people to come into work. They've canceled days off over this weekend to make sure they have enough people. So there'll be a lot of overtime paid, maybe a lot of double time paid, to make sure that they're staffed enough to handle the security and the safety issues that are going to be involved with this celebration. Because let's, of course, not forget, we're going to all suffer this heat dome over the next couple of days, which is going to also bring another unprecedented challenge, because these are all outdoor events, and it gets really hot when we have these heat domes, and people are going to be going there for extended periods of time. So the agencies there have to worry about the safety aspect of it. I think D.C. is going to be a little bit easier, because in D.C. they work with Health and Human Services during a lot of major events to set up cooling tents all along the mall. Plus, you've got all the museums there that are generally open to the public, and I believe will remain open for people to go inside and cool off. But, in New York and Philadelphia, it might look a little different. They probably follow the same model, but, people also have to be self-aware of heat exhaustion, heat stress, bring water, sunscreen, hats, and pace yourself and make sure as soon as you don't feel right, get inside.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Don, D.C. at the mall right now, the Great State Fair, America 250, lots of stuff going on in D.C. Is it easier for Secret Service to protect and police those areas just because they probably have events like this all the time? Not to mention the president is always kind of rolling around somewhere.
No, well, D.C., of course, because it's a federal district, and especially where they're having it along the mall, which are all federal agencies. Generally, they've done these type of events before, so it's not that difficult to put these events together with the partner agencies. The issue here is normally if you go to D.C. for July 4th, the Washington Monument Grounds is the secure zone, and you can't get in and out of the Washington Monument Grounds without going through a magnetometer and checkpoint. Now that buffer zone, that security zone, is going to be extended to the entire mall, which is going to be secured, and there'll be entrance points with magnetometers that you have to go through to get into just the mall area itself, let alone to be there for any of the events. So you're taking a pretty significant part of D.C. that the Secret Service is going to lock down and secure and monitor, just to make sure that it minimizes anything happening.
Yeah, Don, what reminders do you have just for us as individuals if we're going about celebrating this weekend?
I tell people some basic safety and security numbers to follow. Number one, know where you're going, know how to get in and out of wherever you're going. Make sure you're aware of what's going on around you. Don't have your head in the clouds. Make sure you're paying attention to what's happening. In addition to thanking the police and the military for working and for protecting, also don't be afraid to talk to them if you see something that doesn't look right, even if it's something small, because that one piece of information could prevent something from getting bigger. So don't be afraid to talk to them, as well as know when you're in these places where the cooling tents are, know where you can go to get help if something happens, and make sure you take some self-initiative and bring water, bring your sunscreen, bring your medication. If you're with older people, really be aware of your timing because of the heat. Don't be out long, and make sure you have a plan that if somebody doesn't feel well, what are you going to do to handle that? Less is more in these heat situations, and people need to be aware of that.
Hey, Don, you're a Philadelphia guy. Did they have a big celebration this weekend? Because, of course, 1776, that's where it all was.
Oh, yeah, Philadelphia is joining, and that's one of the three spots that's having all the major events for the celebration of the America 250 event. Philadelphia is considered the center of it all because of the Liberty Bell and where the Declaration of Independence was signed. So, the Philadelphia Police Department, as well as all the federal and state agencies in and around the area, are going to be working to provide that same level of security that we're talking about in D.C. and New York as well. It'll look a little different because it won't be Secret Service controlled, but it'll still have you'll still see a lot of the same visible and invisible security measures that'll be in place to protect it.
Well, Don, we appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good 4th.
Yeah, you too. You know, the Supreme Court has basically cemented Trump's power over agencies long considered independent. We'll talk to our friend, constitutional law professor at SLU, Greg Willard, about that after a short break.
Guido's Pizzeria and Tapas on the Hill, offering a taste of Spain in the middle of Italy, would like to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July weekend. Guido's pays tribute to America's enduring freedom for 250 years and thanks all those that protect and preserve that freedom.
In soccer, a guaranteed win is rare. But in real estate, Gloria Lou makes it happen.
Sell with certainty this summer with Gloria Lou at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. While the world's best score on the field, Gloria scores and sells for you this summer. Her summer upfront guarantee. Gloria will sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. Call 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
The World Cup is here, and for a team to survive, they need a good defense. If you've been hurt in a crash or on the job, call Brown & Brown now for a free consultation. 314-333-3333. That's 314-all-threes. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon evidence.
Inland Marine Boats in Barnard has been serving your boating needs for 40 years. Hi, I'm Jim, and this is my son, Ryan.
Remember, you only get 18 summers with your kids. Make the most of them with a boat from Inland Marine Boats, your Mercury Marine dealer.
What if every day felt like the weekend? At Innsbrook Resort, it can. Enjoy lakes, trails, golf, live music, family fun, and delicious on-site dining, all just outside St. Louis. Whether you're looking for the perfect getaway, a vacation home, a full-time residence, or a place to build your dream retreat, discover a lifestyle designed around relaxation, recreation, and connection. Learn more at innsbrook-resort.com.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Live and local.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Mike Dubusky. All eyes will be on the Supreme Court tomorrow, with major decisions expected on cases involving birthright citizenship and trans athletes in college sports. Today, the justices voted to uphold a Mississippi law allowing mail-in ballots that arrive late to be counted.
A number of voting advocates I had talked to were particularly concerned that if the ruling went the other way, it could disenfranchise voters in rural areas, disabled voters, those sorts of things. But this now means that those policies will stay in place unless Congress takes some action in the near future to change them and put some limits on what states can do.
ABC's Devin Dwyer. President Donald Trump now has 10 days to either sign or veto the bipartisan housing bill, which passed the House and Senate last week. But in the Oval Office, the president told reporters he'd rather see election reform.
Here's what I would like to sign. Much more than a bill, that big deal. It's a yawn. Some people say it's wonderful. To me, compared to the Save America Act, just about everything is a big yawn.
Speaker Mike Johnson responding.
The only way to get that to the president's desk, we've been shown many times, is to put it on a reconciliation bill. So that is in process. We have a plan to do that, to tie it to reconcile the budget.
Today, we learned Luigi Mangione, the accused killer of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, will stand trial in Manhattan federal court in January 2027. ABC's Aaron Katersky.
These dates now seem pretty firm, and the only question is which juries will hear that, and the jury selection is going to be fairly elaborate. Hundreds of people, beginning in just a few months, will begin filling out questionnaires. And the whole idea is to weed out any biases, get a fair and impartial jury of 12 with 6 alternates.
You're listening to ABC News.
Watch your favorite team, eat your favorite food. It's the Village Bar. You've heard about the world-famous cheeseburger. Stop by and check it out. Even better, bring your friends on your way to the game, after the game, or just watching the game. Food, sports, and a cold beer. We'll see you at the Village Bar.
This is Mariah, third generation at Newstetter's Fine Jewelry. Buying an engagement ring can be intimidating. At Newstetter's, we ensure complete understanding of your purchase. We offer a choice in both lab and mine-grown diamonds and are able to work with any budget. Let our family help educate you on your choice at Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
Let's face it, most people are not thinking about planning a funeral, but planning ahead can bring you significant savings by locking in today's prices. Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens in Fairview Heights is part of Dignity Memorial. They've been an essential part of the community for generations and believe a funeral service or cremation memorial should be as unique as the person it honors. Receive low interest options on prepaid cremation property and burial plans and up to 10% off cemetery property and funeral plans. Experience the dignity difference. Call Lakeview Funeral Home and Memorial Gardens at 618-233-7200 to schedule a pre-planning appointment. Online at dignitymemorial.com. When you build a home, the floor plan, the finishes, every room is yours from the very first line on the blueprint, and nobody does it better than Fisher and Fritchell Homes. We're building carefree villas, family homes, and luxurious estates in sought-after, amenity-packed communities in O'Fallon, St. Peters, Wentzville, Manchester, Wildwood, and glorious St. Albans. No time to build? Check out our selection of move-in ready homes, all with the quality craftsmanship you'd expect from Fisher and Fritchell. Visit fnfhomes.com for a map of locations. That's fnfhomes.com.
Looking for a great local restaurant recommendation?
Lead me see more.
Tune in to the Kuno Food Service weekly special during the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11.
Hear from the best of the best restaurant owners in town.
Only on the Frank and Jill Show, Thursdays at 11. Presented by Kuno Food Service, right here on the Big 550 KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Good afternoon. It's 5:04 and 93 degrees at Westport Plaza. I'm Brendan Weesey, and here's the latest from the KTRS newsroom. The heat is on across the region with an extreme heat warning in effect through Friday night. Health experts obviously urge you to stay hydrated throughout this stretch of hot weather. They recommend consuming at least 8 ounces of water every 15 to 20 minutes if you're out in the elements. That full weather forecast is coming up in just a few moments. Drivers on I-270 take note of some lane closures happening this week in the vicinity of Highway 40. The first closure will occur at 8 p.m., but prepare for 3 lanes shut down by 10 going southbound tonight and tomorrow night. The 3-lane closures will occur northbound on Wednesday evening. All lanes will reopen by 5 a.m. the next morning. The 20th Annual American Red Cross Blood Drive honoring former Belleville Police Sergeant John Bruff is planned for next week. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
John Bruff is a former Belleville police sergeant who was shot in the face and left blind during an arrest back in 2006. He's had more than 30 surgeries requiring multiple units of blood. This has inspired Bruff to promote the importance of donating blood. The John Bruff Blood Drive will be held on July 7th from noon until 6 in the evening at the Catholic War Veterans Post 370 in Freeburg. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
The head of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources is stepping down. Governor J.D. Pritzker announced that IDNR Director Natalie Phelps-Finney is departing at the end of this month. Finney was appointed director in January of 2023. Renee Snow will serve as the IDNR's interim director beginning on Wednesday. She has worked at the department since 2014, most recently serving as general counsel. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Gas prices in Missouri are continuing to fall ahead of the busy holiday travel weekend. AAA reports the average price for a gallon of regular is $3.52. It marks a 9-cent drop over the past week and a 58-cent decline over the past month. A look now at the markets brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in for Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 until 11 o'clock here on the Big 550. The Dow is up 306 points, closes up, and it's at 52,182. The S&P 500 closes up 86 at 7440. And the NASDAQ up big at the close, 522 at 25,820. Now a trip to the Royal Banks of Missouri sports desk. Hall of Fame former Mizzou football coach Gary Pinkel has pleaded guilty this morning to a driving while intoxicated charge stemming from a traffic stop last summer in Lake of the Ozarks. This comes as part of a plea deal for Pinkel, who will pay a fine and court costs down in Camden County. The Cardinals off today. They're in Atlanta to begin a series with the Braves tomorrow. Now let's get a check on the roads. Captain Carl, the intern, in for Paul Kopsky. Good afternoon, Carl.
Good afternoon, Brendan. Let's get to it. Accident, right lane blocked, St. Louis County westbound 44, west of 141. Stop and go traffic all the way back to Mraz. There's a disabled vehicle in Ladue on 6440 past Clayton, Warson Woods. Stop and go traffic all the way back to Lindbergh, and that is eastbound on 4064. If you have ever driven in St. Louis, you know where it is slow, so I don't need to tell you, and the sinkhole is still a thing. This traffic report's brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone's saying about the pros at Fielder Electric, whether it's a new build or a 100-year home. Fielder Electric has you covered. Greg Willer's in the room. We will get to him in just a moment. My name is Captain Carl, the intern, on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, Captain Carl, thank you so much. Folks, we've got that extreme heat warning. It is in effect through Friday night, so really wash, rinse, and repeat. And it gets going tonight, hot and humid. Under clear skies, will only drop to around 78 degrees. Tomorrow, hot and humid, highs in the upper 90s. And again, those dangerous heat indices possibly topping out at 110. Currently at Westport Plaza, we've got some hazy skies, 93 degrees. For the Talk of St. Louis, I'm Brendan Wiese on the Big 550 KTRS.
Summer is a time to relax with friends and family. Vacations, barbecues, pool days, even movie nights. But for thousands of our neighbors in the St. Louis area, their struggles don't take a vacation. That's why all of us here at KTRS are partnering with Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis for a Christmas in July promotion.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Presented by Royal Banks of Missouri.
We'll be co-hosting a family movie night at Westport Plaza on July 10th for a free viewing of Disney's Cars. Come out and enjoy the movie on the massive screen at Westport Plaza and bring an unwrapped toy or non-perishable item for Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of St. Louis.
Whew, only 10 million more lists to go.
This summer, while you're making memories, help someone else find hope. Come out to the Westport Plaza movie night on July 10th or visit ccstl.org and make a donation today. It's the Royal Banks of Missouri Christmas in July promotion on the Big 550 KTRS.
Presented by AAA Home Services, T.R. Hughes Homes, Outdoor Living, and Neighbors Credit Union.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For 6 generations, the name Edwards has stood for unwavering trust in wealth management. At Benjamin F. Edwards, we're fiercely independent and remain committed to putting our clients first. America's the greatest nation on earth, and this 4th of July, we want to thank all those that have sacrificed, protected, and continue to protect America's independence for 250 years.
Member SIPC.
SSM Healthcare Group, DBA Sluke Care Physician Group, seeks physician gastroenterology in St. Louis, Missouri, to diagnose and treat acute and chronic disorders of the digestive system. Use independent medical judgment to manage the acute and long-term medical needs of patients and interpret patient data to determine appropriate and effective diagnostic and therapeutic procedures as necessary. May also engage in clinical education. Please send resume to Tasha Henderson, MBA, Manager, Business Operations, Internal Medicine, SSM Healthcare Group, tasha.henderson@ssmhealth.com.
This is the only station of the STL that has been live, local, and locally owned
for 3 decades. The Big 550 KTRS St. Louis. Depend on it.
The Supreme Court cemented
President Trump's power over agencies long considered independent. Our friend KTRS legal analyst and SLU constitutional law professor Greg Willard is here to discuss. Thank you for coming in. It's been a minute, so it's good to see your face.
Good to see everybody today, and Captain Carl over there holding down the traffic desk.
I live here now.
Good to see you,
It
Carl.
does seem like it. This decision overturned a 91-year-old precedent that has prevented presidents from removing members of independent agencies at will. What was the court's argument here?
Well, I think to understand it, let's hop on the time travel train, go back even further.
Okay.
Let's go back to 1887 when the Interstate Commerce Commission was formed. The idea was that the Congress and the president back in those days and subsequently decided, well, we need to create these independent agencies. And they have done so. And right now, we're up to about 34 independent agencies. Now, to go all the way back to the Constitution, Heidi, the Constitution is really simple. There's the executive branch that executes the laws, the judicial branch that interprets them, and the Congress that makes them. Could not be any simpler than that. Well, that's 1789. Newsflash, that's not the way it worked out in the intervening 237 years, and here we are today. And what we have today, because of these independent agencies, we have a Congress that makes laws, but so does the executive. All of these independent agencies, they make laws. They just call them regulations. But there is a binding on the four of us as a statute passed by Congress. So lawmaking from 1789 to 2026 has now gone to two branches of government. The judiciary. Well, guess what? These independent agencies have their own court system. The Securities and Exchange Commission, Heidi, has its own court system. The Federal Communication has its own court system. So now we have a judiciary, which it has the power, and the president. Well, with the president, guess what? The president is not sharing any of its powers with anybody. What happened this morning was that the Supreme Court ruled that as to these independent agencies, because they are part of the executive, Congress cannot limit the president's power to fire the leadership of those agencies. Now, a lot of people are ballyhooing already on cable news that this is a huge boost to presidential power. No, it is not.
Okay, clarify.
The boost has already happened. The boost was when Congress passed the Federal Communications Act and said, Federal Communications Commission, here are all the laws that we are going to let you make, that we are going to delegate our power to you to make. Securities and Exchange Commission, under the Securities Act of 1933, Securities Act of 1934, here, says the Congress, we are delegating to you all of these different powers to make laws. What the court today said is, Congress, you can't limit the president's power to fire the heads of those independent agencies. Well, that's not the court saying, here you go, presidents, here's all this new power. The real dirty, dark secret here is the cat's out of the bag, and has been for decades after decades after decades. I know it sounds like a broken record to the three of you and many of our regular listeners, but by golly, I'm going to say it again. When are the men and women in the United States Congress going to put their big boy and big girl panties on, start working more than 3 days a week on a heavy week, and do the job that A, we're paying them to do, and B, the framers of the Constitution in 1789 gave them that duty. But sitting here today on a Monday afternoon in the summer of 2026, we have all of these independent agencies that has been given the power to make federal law binding on all of us Americans by the Congress, and they will continue tomorrow and the next month and the next year and, God forbid, the next decade to make those laws unless Congress begins to do the job that they're supposed to do under the Constitution, period, full stop.
So the Supreme Court shot down President Trump's attempts to fire Lisa Cook, a member of the Federal Reserve's governing board. How is this different?
What the Chief Justice Roberts wrote the opinion, and he said what is different is the Federal Reserve Board, the Federal Reserve Bank, is singularly unique in the United States government. It has such an overwhelming power, effect on our financial markets, our national economy, our monetary policy, that for the law to require a higher bar for a president to remove a Fed governor, such as Lisa Cook, the court this morning, by a 5-4 vote, voted that uniqueness, singularly unique status of the Fed is different than these 34 independent agencies, and therefore the president's removal power is not as robust as it is as of about 6 hours ago with all of these other agencies.
Okay. That seems like a very interesting distinction. So if it was 2 months ago and Jerome Powell was still in charge of the Fed, Donald Trump could not fire him.
Probably not. Probably not. Lisa Cook, I think she at the time was number 2 vice chairman of the Fed, and that's right. It's not a complete bar to the president firing the chairman of the Fed or a Fed governor, but what the Supreme Court ruled this morning is that the limitations that have been put by statute on the president's ability to remove Fed governors, those limitations are constitutional. The limitations that had been put on the president's power to remove independent agency heads,
FCC, SEC.
Right. Those restrictions are graveyard dead. Done.
Now, you have talked to us a number of times about how Congress isn't doing their jobs. In the opinion, does Chief Justice John Roberts say this is something that Congress has to do? Congress needs to come up. In the meantime, this is our decision, but if Congress wants to change it, they have to get off their butts.
He addressed it slightly, Josh. But if any of our listeners really want to...
Because you say it all the time,
right.
But are they saying it?
Well, Justice Gorsuch wrote what is called a concurring opinion, which he said, I agree with the ruling, but I want to give some other examples. And he could be sitting here with the 4 of us this afternoon with this discussion we've just had in making this point that, look, as to the constitutional power to fire the head of an independent agency, that's kind of a little narrow niche. But this power that Congress has delegated, just massive power that Congress has delegated out of Article 1 of the Constitution and given it to the president in the form of these independent agencies. And Justice Gorsuch says, some people need, in Congress, I'm paraphrasing, some people need to take a step back and examine, is this the best form of constitutional government for the United States in 2026 or in the 21st century? He doesn't obviously answer that question, but it's more than a rhetorical question, and I think it goes straight to what you were observing, Josh, is this notion of Congress not doing its job was right there, front and center, with the opinions this morning, particularly Justice Gorsuch.
So these are just a couple of the opinions that are being issued. There's several more, I guess, coming tomorrow. What are you looking forward to here, or maybe not so forward to?
Well, Chief Brody from the movie Jaws, we're going to need a bigger boat tomorrow morning. The opinions in the 4 cases this morning, Heidi, were totaled 303 pages. Think about that for a minute. There were the majority opinion, the dissenting opinion, the concurring opinions. There were separate dissenting opinions. My guess is we ain't seen nothing yet as compared to what's going to happen in the morning. Front and center in the Klieg lights tomorrow morning will be birthright citizenship. Does the 14th Amendment provide that if a baby is born within the 4 corners of the United States, that she is automatically game, set, match, a United States citizen? Or does the status of her parents and whether the mother in particular is here legally, does that affect the citizenship of that child? We'll see where it comes out. As to the next one that's going to be under the Klieg lights, a number of states have passed state laws dealing with boys and girls in high school athletics, young men and women in college athletics, and these states have mandated that those boys and girls in high school athletics must play in the sport to which their biological sex is matched. And they cannot play in a sport to which gender they identify. Mm-hmm. Now, the question then is, then we'll get the answer in about 14 hours. The question is, do those statutes violate the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution, the same one with birthright citizenship? Do those statutes violate what is known as the Equal Protection Clause? So if there's a young biological boy who's identifying as a girl, he's a sophomore in high school, and wants to be on the girls' swimming team, in that state that says, well, no, that biological boy has to compete with the boys. He is prohibited from participating with the girls to which he identifies for gender. Does that violate that person's 14th Amendment equal protection rights? That those are the sides, Heidi, if you will, in the litigation. We will get the answer in about 14 hours.
Is there any way to predict what the Supreme Court is going to do? I know we look at this now and we say this court is maybe more conservative than years past, but can you ever really predict what the Supreme Court is going to do?
No, but you can make a pretty educated guess. I think most close observers of the court would be able to fare pretty well at the win, place, and show windows. And part of it is you read the briefs, you read the case law, the precedent, as it were, and then there's oral argument. And particularly in these cases, these big cases, the oral argument will go sometimes over 2 hours. You bundle all that up and you kind of go, well, I kind of got the feeling, for example, in birthright citizenship, I don't know how they will present their analysis. I think they are going to uphold the notion of birthright citizenship. And I further think, I'll go way out on the limb here, Heidi, I think there's a high likelihood that the decision will be grounded in a 1950 federal immigration law as opposed to going down into the constitutional weeds as to what the drafters of the 14th Amendment in 1867 had in mind. Long-winded answer to your question. I think on birthright citizenship, I think some form of birthright citizenship will survive, maybe on statutory grounds. Similarly, with the transgender, boys and girls in high school athletics, I suspect that the court, again, it could be on statutory grounds, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, but I think that the court is going to defer to state governments and states in deciding those very tough. Let's be. It's easy for a lawyer or a law professor to sit here and spout off, but at the end of the day, put aside the Equal Protection Clause and 14th Amendment and blah 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 blah. We're talking about a 14-year-old student who wants to be on the swim team.
Right.
And the question is, well, if that student is a biological male and is identifying as a girl, what does that school district do with that student, that athlete's rights or desires to participate on the girls' swim team? Those are tough questions. I understand the emotions, and fortunately, I think we have 9 justices on the United States Supreme Court that realize that that's none of their business. They have to apply the law and the Constitution as they find it, and whether that makes people happy or unhappy or student athletes sad really doesn't enter into the equation.
Got to take the emotion out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we always appreciate you coming in and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you so much.
As always, great to be with all 3 of you, including you, Captain Carl, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Speaking of that, it's my turn.
It is. How's traffic looking?
Well, it's not so bad right now because we got stop and go traffic in Valley Park, 141 southbound approaching 44. There's an accident. The right lane is blocked in Arnold, 55 southbound at Richardson. Stop and go traffic back to 141. Let's see, anything else? Well, you've driven in St. Louis, so you know we're slow normally, and the sinkhole has not been fixed. My name is Captain Carl, the intern, on the Big 550 KTRS, and that is your traffic.
Rigazzi's, the oldest Italian-American restaurant on the hill, is your World Cup headquarters. Streaming every World Cup match live on all new TVs. Come watch a game and hold our own trophy, the world-famous 32-ounce Rigazzi's Fish Bowl. All your classic Italian favorites served with flavor and hospitality that generations have loved. And during U.S. games, when the U.S. scores, you score a free order of their famous toasted ravioli. Must be present to redeem. Make your plans to catch all the World Cup action this summer at Rigazzi's.
Prestige Pools and Spas is St. Louis's most award-winning pool company. Family-owned for over 40 years, their in-ground pool, swim spa, and hot tub experts can make your dreams a reality. Prestige Pools and Spas would like to thank all our veterans and wish you a happy and safe 4th of July weekend as we celebrate 250 years of independence.
Since 1976, thousands of businesses have relied upon the tax reduction strategies provided by Capital Advisory Group to help them keep more of what they earn, reduce their tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisory Group and the author of the 2 #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. We're celebrating 50 years helping small businesses grow and thrive by minimizing the financial risk to their businesses, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth using strategic tax planning. The Fed is hinting that inflation and interest rates will continue to rise in the months ahead. If you're relying on investment advice from someone who isn't familiar with the tax strategy and feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, give us a call, 636-394-5524, capitaladvisorygrp.com. Again, the number is 636-394-5524.
Looking for a new kitchen or bath? Call me, Anne-Marie Boges, the co-host of the Inside Out Show and owner and designer at Anne-Marie Design Studio. Visit our website at annemaristudio.com. We can help make your dream space into a reality. We're a fine kitchen and bath boutique located in Wildwood. We do it all, from design to bid to installation too. Call us today at 636-821-3395 or go online at annemaristudio.com. Let's make your dream kitchen or bath a reality with Anne-Marie Design Studio.
When you pay for tree work, you want to be sure you're getting the most for your hard-earned money. That's why you should always use the ISA certified arborist at River City Tree Service in Baldwin, Missouri. Hi, I'm Steve with River City Tree Service, and we've been the go-to tree service since 2008. Tree removal, tree trimming, storm damage, deadwood removal, stump grinding, and more. Give River City Tree Service a call for all your tree service needs at 314-270-8071. That's 314-270-8071. River City Tree Service.
Hi, everybody. McGraw-Millhaven here for Jacob Baths and Showers. They specialize in helping seniors age in place with a bath and shower design. They'll replace your current tub. They'll put in a walk-in shower. They'll add grab bars and seats and add a non-slick service, not to mention their composite materials that look like luxury stone and last a lifetime. The great thing about Jacob Baths and Showers, 1 to 2 days and you get your bathroom back. Find out more at jacobbaths.com.
In soccer, one sound can change everything. 1 billion people hear that sound and instantly know what it means. Every driver knows that sound. Nobody wants surprises. That's why there's CarShield. When a breakdown strikes your engine, transmission, or other major systems, CarShield helps protect you from costly surprises. So save the drama for the pitch. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
The Cardinals ended a 4-game losing streak yesterday. KTRS Sports Director Brendan Weesey joins us with the weekend wrap-up. We'll start with some baseball. I guess we could sigh, take a deep breath, and it's like, okay, finally, another win.
A nice win. It was, it's been a little bit of a struggle at the plate for the Cardinals, and I think we knew this was going to happen. It will continue to happen. There will be ebbs. There will be flows to this season. And the Marlins, Cardinals kind of catch a tough break. Marlins playing some of the best baseball in the National League, so they caught them hot, still win a game. Off day today, I think, will be welcome, and then you head to Atlanta, play the Braves, who have been, I feel like everybody on their team is injured, so you're probably catching them at a decent time. Then you'll get the Cubbies up in Chicago for the holiday weekend.
For the holiday.
Yeah,
yes.
That's always a fun one.
Red, white, and blue.
That feels like it'll be a crazy environment up there for the weekend.
I think so, too. John Mozeliak isn't finished with baseball. Did this come as a surprise?
Yeah, I think so. Mo is back with the Angels as the interim general manager and special consultant in the front office. So I think ultimately his job is to find the Angels' new general manager. I guess there's like an outside chance that he were to, hire himself. I don't think that's going to be the case.
It's
I think
not
Mo's
Jeopardy.
gonna. I think Mo will find someone, and they will take that job over. And obviously, I'm sure he's got some candidates that have been with the Cardinals that could potentially fill that role. But Mo didn't stay out of the game for very long, did he?
No, not at all. Let's move on to the NHL. The draft is underway. Are the Blues making any exciting moves?
So the Blues drafted 9 players over the weekend. They made a couple of trades. They got Mason McTavish from the Anaheim Ducks.
They traded. We had a bunch of draft picks,
right?
And they traded some draft picks for an actual player.
Traded a couple of their first rounders for McTavish. They used a couple of the draft choices on players themselves, so they certainly replenished the stockpile. They also got Brandon Carlo from Toronto, who by all accounts is a very defensive defenseman. So you kind of beef things up on your back end a little bit, and again, nothing that was just earth-shattering, but I think certainly the Blues are better now than they were a week ago. Of course, the Kyrou trade as well that helped land them some of those picks. It's been a busy time, and then Doug Armstrong calls it a run tomorrow as Alexander Steen officially takes over as general manager, and Army moves up to the president, which has been his role already, but he will remain president of hockey operations there with the Blues.
Got it. The World Cup is in knockout rounds, so that basically means the loser goes home. Give us a recap here.
Yeah, we're into it right now. We saw Brazil in dramatic fashion knock off Japan this afternoon to punch their ticket, so that is done and done. Canada advanced yesterday. And as we bring you this CarShield Sportsplex Summer of Soccer update presented by Royal Banks of Missouri and Ragazzi's, we are into extra time right now with Germany and Paraguay, they are 1-1 as we speak. So we've seen, all three of these knockout rounds so far have now either gone into extra time or ended in stoppage time, because we saw Canada break a 0-0 draw yesterday in stoppage time. And then in that Brazil-Japan match this afternoon, they were 1-1 before Brazil scored ultimately the deciding tally.
I thought it was very weird. For the last 2 weeks, we've had 4 games every day. It's been nonstop soccer. It's been great. And then yesterday, the start of the knockout rounds, there was 1 game.
It was really strange, especially for a Sunday, that you only have 1 match. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, why you don't have multiple matches? That was it was a bit of a surprise, but they do their thing, and we continue to get these afternoon matches throughout the course of the week. And it's we've got several more weeks before this thing is ultimately decided.
And USA back on the pitch Wednesday
against Bosnia, and
it's going to be a big one here in St. Louis because we have such a large Bosnian community.
Absolutely huge, and it's not going to be easy for the U.S. These guys are not pushovers. You go all the way back to when Bosnia had their backs against the wall back in the spring. They needed to beat Italy in a do-or-die match. Winner advances to the World Cup, and loser goes home, and they beat Italy. And Italy's got a long, storied tradition when it comes to international soccer, so that was massive. So Bosnia is used to winning these type of games in a lot more recent memory than the U.S. Like, the U.S. did not have to qualify for the World Cup because as a host country, they were the fast pass into the tournament. Bosnia, they have already had to do it here within the last couple of months. So I think that's an interesting aspect to this match. And then on the other side of it, there's no gimme afterwards, because it's either Belgium or I believe Senegal. It's Belgium and Senegal that are in that in the corresponding match to potentially play in the round of 16. So the U.S. would look like potentially was going to be an easy path. Not so easy now. Just to get to that, the quarterfinals would be a very big deal. But it is not an easy pathway for sure for the U.S.
But it is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and we're actually going to be out of the studio going to Big Chief Roadhouse in Wildwood, kind of for a World Cup preview show. So that's going to be a lot of fun. What's coming up tonight?
Well, Heidi, that was our CriShield Sportsplex Summer of Soccer Update presented by Royal Banks of Missouri and Regazzi's. Also brought to you by HW Kia, WS Window and Door, STL Bartenders to Go, Fisher and Fritchell Homes, and Gingham's Restaurant. But yeah, we'll talk a little baseball tonight. A rare chance to talk baseball because Cardinals are off. We'll talk it over with our pal Rob Raines, Eli Hoff with me. Extended World Cup conversation tonight. Hopefully, once this game goes final, we'll be able to discuss that and everything coming up in the World Cup tonight and the rest of the week.
All right, we'll be listening. Thanks,
Thank
Brandon.
you, Heidi.
In soccer, one sound can change everything. 1 billion people hear that sound and instantly know what it means. Every driver knows that sound. Nobody wants surprises. That's why there's CarShield. When a breakdown strikes your engine, transmission, or other major systems, CarShield helps protect you from costly surprises. So save the drama for the pitch. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Rigazzi's, the oldest Italian-American restaurant on the hill, is your World Cup headquarters. Streaming every World Cup match live on all new TVs. Come watch a game and hold our own trophy, the world-famous 32-ounce Rigazzi's Fish Bowl. All your classic Italian favorites served with flavor and hospitality that generations have loved. And during U.S. games, when the U.S. scores, you score a free order of their famous toasted ravioli. Must be present to redeem. Make your plans to catch all the World Cup action this summer at Rigazzi's.
Can we have a heart-to-heart for a second? I feel like if you're an esthetician, I don't know why you wouldn't be applying for a job at the Only Facial right now. There are so many opportunities for advancement. Every manager and trainer within the organization of the Only Facial started as an esthetician, as a matter of fact. And I want to tell you this, you are not even responsible for selling products or memberships. Instead, what you're going to be doing is what you do best, delivering exceptional results with facials that are exhilarating and building meaningful relationships with your clients. At The Only Facial, they are deeply committed to ongoing education and professional development. You'll know what I'm talking about when you talk to these ladies. This company is growing. People are loving The Only Facial. And in fact, you can make your appointment online now. TheOnlyFacial.com. They're all over town.
Over the past 5 years, Fisher & Fritchell Homes has donated $2,000 from each home sold from Memorial Day through the 4th of July to Folds of Honor of Missouri and Southern Illinois. That's nearly $156,000 since 2021 to help provide scholarships to the families of fallen and disabled military and first responders. Thank you for your service.
Summer is officially here.
Time for outdoor activities, sporting events, seasonal festivals, everything but cooking. Treat Dad to a great breakfast. The best in St. Louis, according to the Post-Dispatch. Lunch while you're out and about, or a terrific home-style dinner. Nobody is disappointed with Gingham's. And don't forget our fabulous desserts. We're open 24 hours a day, so no matter when hunger strikes, Gingham's is open and ready to serve you.
Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant in St. Charles, 636-946-0266 or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
Both Chapel wants to wish you and your family a safe and happy 4th of July. They've been providing compassionate and professional funeral and cremation services to the St. Louis community for over 100 years. For more info, go to BothChapel.com. Happy 4th of July from Both Chapel.
Hey, St. Louis, whether it be auto, home, life, or business insurance, Alexander Hinton has you covered as a trusted insurance agent of the Big 550 KTRS. Get a quote today with Alexander Hinton and American Family Insurance. Keep your insurance agent local, not managed by a call center, and speak to the same person every time you call.
Save now by calling 314-205-2050. That's 314-205-2050.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You're listening to The Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Let's talk a little entertainment news. Stevie Nicks and Tim McGraw are reportedly set to perform at Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's Wedding Palooza on Friday. Now, that's what some insiders are calling it. It makes you wonder if Taylor maybe hinted at Stevie's wedding performance by wearing that Stevie Nicks shirt to the NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden. A luxury wedding planner estimates it's over $20 million. 2-0. Last year's national average for a wedding in America was around $36,000. Not for New York. The average there, $65,000. Taylor and Travis reportedly wanted their wedding in Rhode Island, but decided against it for security reasons. Linda Gray is opening up about first meeting Larry Hagman on the set of Dallas. He, of course, played J.R. Ewing for 14 seasons alongside Linda Gray, who played Sue Ellen Ewing, the character's long-suffering wife. In a recent interview, the 85-year-old shared that the first time she met Larry, he had saddlebags over his shoulder filled with ice and a bottle of champagne. She added, "We were all in this room, the entire cast. Nobody knew who we were. We were actors, unemployed actors that just got a job. And so we were all crammed together in this little room, and Larry looked at me and said, 'Hello, darling.' And I thought, this is trouble."
Wait, was he in character, or does Larry Hagman actually act
he
like
was
this?
the famous one. She said, looking around the room, she was in shock that there's Mr. Hagman, who was Major Nelson, and she said, of course, talking about I Dream of Jeannie, and I thought, oh dear, I have a crush on Major Nelson, and now he's here in front of me.
I completely forgot about that show.
Oh, I watched it all the time.
I'm looking at born 1931, Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah.
He was a Dallas guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox is now a companion of the Order of Canada, which is the native country's highest civilian honor. He was awarded for both his Hollywood career and his advocacy for Parkinson's disease, a well-earned honor. A script for St. Elmo's Fire sequel is in the works. Rob Lowe says everyone wants to do it, and they're just working on getting the script right. During a recent appearance on the Kelly Clarkson Show, he said, I think the reason that St. Elmo's continues to mean a lot to people is because it's such a great snapshot of your 20s.
Okay, hang on. Carl, you're the movie guy, right?
Yes.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Never saw it.
You never saw it?
Because when it came out, I was too young.
Yeah.
And I never
revisited.
I didn't care.
I went back and watched it years ago, but I was an adult, or at least college age. I thought it was terrible. I don't think it was
the original
a
name of the play is much better.
I don't think that you were the audience at that point. I mean, this was the 80s.
I was in my 20s.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this is 19.
When's the last time you watched it?
I don't think it's relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it is the same, as the world has changed so much from when that show was made.
Which is why they're going to do a sequel and
that
update
will be
it.
different. So I think that if you were that age when it came out, to Carl's point, it was one thing.
Yeah.
It's like watching Pretty in Pink or 16 Candles if you're 15 or 16.
Now, those movies, Pretty in Pink I didn't like as much, but 16 Candles still holds up.
See, I disagree.
Oh, you don't think so?
Just like Revenge of the Nerds, there are a lot of sexual assault
yes.
things.
a lot of things that you cannot say or call someone. So,
Okay, all
disagree.
Okay.
Tiana Taylor kind of had to wipe away tears as she says, I worked my off 20 years for the 2026 BET Icon Award. She added, I'm accepting what I've earned with gratitude, the singer and actress said in her acceptance speech, while she said, we'll wear this title loud and proud. Janet Jackson presented her the award and looked amazing. In other award news, Bill Maher received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor last night. And just a few things. If you're looking for something to watch tonight, and I did this one for you, Josh. It's the 2-hour special, Disney Celebrates America, The Pursuit of Happiness.
They're also rerunning it on Friday.
Okay.
So if you miss it tonight.
It's a big America 250 Independence Day kind of thing.
Well, Will Reeve and Deborah Roberts visit Disneyland and Disney World to share stories of American first.
Okay.
So, and birthdays today, just a few to mention. Colin Jost, SNL weekend anchor, the husband of
Scarlett
Sarjo.
Johansson.
44. Colin Hay, Men at Work singer, Down Under, Who Can It Be Now? 73 years old. And I don't think a lot of people realize this. He's had 15 solo albums.
Yeah.
Every once in a while when I'm flipping through on the radio, I'll hear one of his solo albums. Our very own Dan Deerdorf is 77 today. And Gary Busey is 82. And that is your evening entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis. You better hope that your HVAC system is in tip-top shape right now. A good way to do that is to enlist the folks over at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. Now, they're not just a business. These are your neighbors. I'm talking about the techs, the people who are answering the phone, because yes, there are actual people answering the phone at Indoor Comfort Team, and they'll admit sometimes it doesn't go perfectly, but what Indoor Comfort Team will do is finish it perfectly. Adam is the owner and he knows his clients by name. He shares his cell phone. That's because the Indoor Comfort Team is small enough to care but big enough to handle any and every job. You can reach Indoor Comfort Team at 314-894-8200. You can also find them online at indoorcomfortteam.com. They've got a lot of great deals going on, like a $2,000 off a new train system. They've got a VIP maintenance membership program, only $19.99 a month. There's a free second opinion that they'll do if somebody else has come out and kind of diagnose the problem and you're not sure. They'll come re-diagnose it for free. So again, you can reach Indoor Comfort Team at 314-894-8200. It's about 8 minutes before 6. Let's get one final check of traffic from Captain Carl, the intern.
Thank you, Heidi. There's an accident. The two right lanes are blocked in Arnold on 55 southbound at Richardson. Stop traffic back to 141. Over in Illinois, we have stop-and-go traffic. Washington Park on 64 eastbound between 111 and 157. And you're from St. Louis, so you know exactly what is going on in the traffic because it's slow where it's normally slow, and also the sinkhole still exists. This traffic report is brought to you by the Rack House in Cottleville. Stop by for brunch or happy hour. Have the Rack House cater your next event with boxed lunches or buffets to accommodate groups of 10 to 200 people. The Rack House, featuring seasonal menu and upscale casual dining and drinks since 2014. I'm Captain Carl, the intern. That is traffic on the Big 550 KTRS.
The official birthplace of the toasted ravioli is
Mama's on the Hill.
And Mama's on the Hill serves the best in town. Mama's has been a mainstay on the Hill for decades and is still a family-run restaurant serving up great Italian food in a fun atmosphere. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner, and right in the heart of the Hill at Edwards and Bischoff. Delicious catering and party rooms too.
Mama's on the Hill.
Make reservations at 314-776-3100 and 24/7 at mamasonthehill.com.
I trust Pella Windows and Doors of St. Louis to help improve my home when it matters most. It's not just Pella's high-quality windows and doors. It's the local experts who know the St. Louis area so well. For a limited time, get 20% off Pella projects or 0% no payments, no interest if paid in full within 24 months. Call 833-87-PELLA or visit Pella.com/radio to learn more. 833-87-PELLA or Pella.com/radio. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
What if every day felt like the weekend? At Innsbrook Resort, it can. Enjoy lakes, trails, golf, live music, family fun, and delicious on-site dining, all just outside St. Louis. Whether you're looking for the perfect getaway, a vacation home, a full-time residence, or a place to build your dream retreat, discover a lifestyle designed around relaxation, recreation, and connection. Learn more at innsbrook-resort.com.
All right, so I have a sheet in front of me that says that these are the bedroom colors that will actually increase the price of your home if you're looking to sell. We're going to share this with Lauren, and we'll either do it on Wednesday or another day. But, Heidi, chocolate brown is back. It was a popular color in the 70s.
I had it in my first house.
In the bedroom?
Nope, in the living room, dining room, actually. I had a dark forest green in the living room that bled over to
that
the...
looks...
and then a dark brown.
This says chocolate brown could add $2,000 to a home's offer price. It goes on to say pale blue, charcoal gray, sage green. These are other colors that create homes with soul. And if you're looking to sell your house and you got to paint the walls, white is out. And some of these rich, dark colors are in, you can call my friend Mike at Rufino's Painting to come over and paint your home so you can make extra money. Make it look good. Lauren always says you walk in, your first impression, white walls or nice, rich colors on the wall. Or maybe you just want to paint your house because you're living there and you'd like it to be a nice chocolate brown or a dark green like Heidi's house was. You can have him stain your deck as well. That's what he did for us. Give him a call, 636-655-0820. He painted the offices here at the Big 550. He stained my deck at my house, and he can come over and paint your house, too. Chocolate brown, sage green, and pale blue. Those are the colors to paint these days. Rufino'sPainting.com.
All right, let's wrap this show up with some random so Carl can head out and go to bed.
Go back to bed.
Now I'm going to go see a movie with Max.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go see Minions and Monsters tonight.
Oh.
Okay, well, then we'll find out how it is tomorrow.
I want to see that. The 4-second rule is the amount of time that the average internet user will wait for a page to load before going to another site.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't work, 4 seconds, that's all they give you. Ronald Reagan was the first U.S. president who'd ever had a divorce. He married Jane Wyman in 1940, and they got divorced 8 years later. President Trump is the second divorcee to be president. And speaking of politics, everyone in North Korea named Kim Jong-un had to legally change their name.
Legally?
It's illegal to have the same name as the supreme leader. So if you were Kim Jong-un and he took power, well, now you're Kim Jong something else.
Very interesting. You guys, that does it for us on this Monday afternoon. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and hopefully you'll come back and hang out with us tomorrow starting at 3 o'clock. Carl, sleep tight, enjoy the movie.
I'll be back here at 5:05 in the morning.
That's right.
We'll see you here.
And until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
Whatever gets you through your life, it's all right.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody